Hello everyone, and are you guys looking to learn some coding in Excel? So if you are guys are eager, or if you guys want the tutorial for Excel or coding, here I do have the perfect tutorial for you, which is the Excel VBA tutorial. So Excel VBA is basically the coding in the Excel, and the full form of VBA is Visual Basic Application. So in this tutorial we'll learn so much about coding. I'll give you guys about the basic coding, what we can do here. And as this is a beginner tutorial, and I'll also just tell you few uses of the advanced mode here. So let's see what all we are going to learn here in this tutorial. So first I'll be introducing you to all with the Excel VBA. Like I'll be making you guys familiar with the interface and the workspace here. Okay, so here I'll be teaching you guys how you can create your first macro and how we can insert a module and we can start writing our coding. And I'll also show you guys how we can record a macro, and after that how we can modify that particular macro there. Okay, and after that I'll be telling you and teaching you guys about the coding for how we can select a particular sheet or how we can select one or more sheets at the same time. And I'll also be teaching you guys how we can number those sheets as well. And after that I'll be teaching you guys about the difference between the cells and the range. Okay, the cells I'll be teaching, and also about the ranging, like what is the difference between the cells and the range in Excel VBA, and where all we can use these cells and range, because we can't use cells that coding everywhere in my whole code, and I can't also use range, so it has some particular usage and also particular function for itself. Okay, and after that I'll be teaching you guys about the offsets in Excel VBA. So I'll also be explaining you guys where all we can use offsets, and also I'll be telling you guys about different ways to use these offsets in different scenarios. Okay, and I'll be also teaching you guys how we can select a particular range of cells and a particular ranges. Okay, a particular group of ranges, how we can select. And after that I'll be telling you guys about the variable and the data type. Here I'll be explaining you guys about how we can actually work on this variable, like how we can name a variable and how we can actually start typing a variable, as I've explained to you in the class. And if you guys are also familiar with this Excel VBA, you guys might know first we have to write dim, which is the keyword to start a variable. Then I'll also tell you guys about different data types. Okay, there are many kind of data types, and also they do have a limitation for that. Suppose a data type is byte. Okay, so their maximum value is 255. So if I put there like 255, I can also, like if I exceed 255, it won't work there. Okay, if I put a byte in my data. Okay, and after that I'll be telling you guys how we can use loop in Excel VBA. So here I have particularly talked about the for loop, which is mostly used and the most useful one in the loop version. And I also do have an advanced loop. Okay, and after that I'll be telling you guys about a particular command. So as we are using this VBA, we do have a lot of command of like how we can actually add different pages or insert a particular text or insert a particular sentence or insert a particular command. Like if I want to put command on top of another command, how we can actually do that, how we can merge two sheets together. We do have command for all those things as well. But here in this tutorial I'll be giving you guys the basic of how to insert and delete sheet. Okay, so here we'll be learning about all these topics in this tutorial. So if you guys have any problem or if you guys have any difficulty understanding this particular tutorial, I'm always there to help you guys out. So I'm hoping that every one of you guys will join my tutorial and we'll go in depth and we'll learn about this Excel VBA, and we'll also see what this application have to offer us and how we can actually make use of it in our daily to day life. So take care everyone, and I hope to see you all in my tutorial on Excel VBA. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to the course in Excel VBA. So in this course, we'll dive into the world of Visual Basic for Application, which is the full form of VBA, and we'll explore how it can enhance your productivity and efficiency in Microsoft Excel. So whether you're a beginner or have some experience with Excel, this course will equip you with some fundamental skills to automate tasks, create custom functions, and unleash the true potential of Excel. So basically, Excel VBA is quite a powerful programming language and integrated into Excel, which allows you to write macros and automated repetitive tasks. So throughout this course, we will all learn about the basics of VBA. Like I'll just tell you guys how it actually works and why it's quite useful to us. And we'll also learn about the Visual Basic editor and also the essential concepts needed to create and run macros. And we'll also learn how to record and edit macros. We'll learn how to work with objects and properties. I'll teach you guys about control structures and loop. We'll cover essential programming constructs such as if, then, else statements, loops. We'll also learn about the user forms, the error handling, like we'll discover how to handle errors in your VBA code effectively. And we'll also learn about few of the advanced techniques, like delve into advanced topics like working with arrays, using VBA to interact with external data sources, and more complex operation. So by the end of this course, you will have a solid foundation in Excel VBA, which will enable you to automate tasks, customize Excel features, and improve your data analysis and reporting skills. And remember, practice is a key to master the VBA. So be prepared to work on hands exercises and real-world projects to reinforce your learning. So let's get started on this exciting journey of mastering Excel VBA, and let's unleash our true potential to learn this application. So here, first we need to come to the Excel page. As you can see, I'm in my Excel page here. And VBA, the full form of VBA is Visual Basic Application. Okay, so here, actually, if I'm going to Microsoft Word or anything else, they do also have this Visual Basic Application. So here it's we're just trying to write a language, we're giving command, and I'll be showing you how it's quite important to us. So if I want to, there are so many functions like here in the Excel, but instead of that, if I want to create some new functions here, like there is a triangle and I want to measure the size of the triangle, and I would suppose I want to measure all the components here. Okay, there are few functions which are not there, but here using the Excel VBA we can create those and apply it in our workspace and in all our project. So for that, first what we need to do, we need to go to the developer tab. But here you can see on top, now I don't have the developer tab here. Okay, but I want the developer tab because from there only we'll start working. So to get the developer tab here in this bar, first off I'll come here, I'll click here on the file, and after that, as you can see under the feedback option, I do have the options, and from here I will click and a page like this will pop up. So under here I will go to the option customize ribbon, and after clicking on customize ribbon you can see I do have all the tabs here, and here you do see the developer tab option. So it's unmarked now, so I'll just mark this one and I will be clicking on OK. So after clicking here, you can see I do have the developer option here. So if I click here, this is the page where we'll be working. So this is where we can work in the VBA. So here is the first one, which is the Visual Basics. So here, if I want the shortcut keys, the shortcut key for this is Alt plus F11 in our keyboard. So if you want to take it shortcut, if you want to open the Visual Basic option, I'll be just clicking on Alt plus F11. So from here, let me open this Visual Basic and show you guys the page, how it actually looks. So here, once I click on this, here you can see I do have a page here. Okay. So here I do have the project work, and here I do have the properties panel. So here, suppose I don't have this one. Okay. I don't have this category or this page on my left hand side. So let me just undo this one, and I just do have a standard toolbar and all these options here. So in that case, I need that. Okay, so for that I'll just go to the view option from here, and from that I will click on the project explorer, which will be needed while we work in this coding, okay, in this Excel VBA. So here, the shortcut key for that is Control plus R. So I can just click on Control plus R from my keyboard. Otherwise, I can come here in the view option and I can just click on the Project Explorer. Okay. So if I click on this, you guys can see I do have the Project Explorer option here. And suppose I don't have this standard toolbar as well here, because many times we don't have many kind of options. If we open in different version of this Excel, we might have one or two less objects here in this case. But what we will do is we'll just choose the standard toolbar. Okay, so if I don't have the standard toolbar here, what I can do is I'll again go to this view option from here, and from the view option, as you can see, if I click on this and if I go down, just above the Microsoft Excel option, I do have the toolbar option. And here I do have the toolbar options set it in standard. Okay. And I do have other toolbars as well. I do have the edit toolbar, the debug toolbar, the user form, and I can also customize my own toolbar if I want to. Okay. So from here, I can choose like how I want it. Okay. What type of icons do I need? If I want large icons, I can just mark this option here. I can choose the commands from here. I can choose the toolbar here. Okay, but I will be just choosing the standard toolbar, which I do have it here. So here you can see I do have the Project Explorer option here. So while working here, we obviously did this, and through this only we'll be working on this application and we'll be working on coding in Excel VBA. So now let's get to learn about the Project Explorer option here. Here you can see the box. So this is the Project Explorer option here. So which is quite helpful, and this will only be used. So here you can see the VBA project 1. So this is the book 1. So this is the file which I am working on right now, and I don't have any existing file here. So this is the first one, and here you can see Microsoft Excel objects, and under this we do have sheet 1. Okay, so let me add few more sheets here. So let me add 3 more sheets, and let me come here again. So here you guys can see I do have the sheet 1, and here you can see inside the bracket also I do have written sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3, and sheet number 4. Okay, but why it's written 2 times is like here, if I go to this page again here, and from here if I change the name of sheet number 2 to class, and if I save this one, and again if I come to this VBA page here, you can see it changed to class here, but which file is this, which page is this? So this is the sheet 2, and the sheet 2 name is class. So likewise I can also rename all of this here, all the sheets, that I don't get confused and I know where exactly my work is and what work did I save on, or which file I want to work with. Okay, and now if I want to put a coding page or I want to open the coding page of any sheet from here, what I'm going to do is I'll just double click here and you can see my coding page is here. Okay, so here in the sheet 1 I do have the coding page here, so here I can write the code. Okay, but first we won't go there. First we'll learn how to actually start the coding. Okay, so in most of the cases what we are going to do is, I'll just close this tab first. So here in most of the cases what I'm going to do is we'll be inserting a module here, or in that module we'll be writing our code. So if I open the module page here, you can see I do have the module page, and it also popped up in the project explorer option or the box here. So in 90% of the cases here, in this module page, we do write the language or the coding, and the extra 10% or the remaining 10% time we do actually record the module or record a micro, then we use it in our system. So first, I'll just close this tab and I will just delete this module from here. Okay, I'll just remove, and here after I want to delete this or remove this, it's asking me, do I want to export module 1 before removing it? So I don't want to export it to any place, so I'll click on no, and here you can see this one is gone. Okay, so let me just minimize this VBA page, and here you can see I do have it here. Okay, or let me just go and cut this page here, and from here just beside the macros option you can see an option called the record macro. So what it basically does is, suppose we are working here, okay, we are all working in this particular page, and I want to save each and every command which I give to this page here, like in my basic Excel page here, whatever command do I give, and we do use it when like we have a similar kind of work, but if I want to do the similar kind of work again and again, so it will waste our time and it will be quite frustrating. So in that case what I'm going to do is I'll just record a macro from here, and after recording macro I can just play it, or I can apply it in other pages as well. So it will also save my time, as well as it will do the exact work or the exact command what I have used before. So what I'll do in case of if I want to record a macro is I'll just click here, and here as you can see when I click the record macro option, I can save the macro name. So while writing the macro name, I do have to keep in mind that I should not use any kind of special characters here while writing the name, and I should not use numbers at first, and I should not give any kind of spacing between the letters. So for me, I'll just write the first VBA. Okay, so I have named this one, and actually it's quite important, and if I don't want to save name, it will be just by default it will be saved as module 1 or module 2, kind of like that. So here after that, after creating a name for my macro, I can also use the shortcut key. Okay, shortcut key in the sense like here I do have the control plus any key which I click here. Okay, here if I come and if I click on K, here it will be saved. Okay, but I don't want to put any kind of shortcut key here now. And while creating a shortcut key, we do have to remember that we should not use any kind of key which is already in use. Suppose if I use Ctrl plus S for my shortcut key to record a macro, in that case if I click on Ctrl plus S just to save anything, it won't be saved in this application. When I'm in this application with Ctrl plus S, they'll start to record my macro or the command which I give here on this page, that it can work later, because here it's already saved in our shortcut key. Okay, so we need to keep this thing particularly in our mind. And after that, where do I want to store this macro particularly. So here you can see I do have three options. If I want to save it in my personal macro workbook, or if I want to create a new workbook, or I want to save it in this particular workbook here. So I'll just save it in this workbook here and I will click OK. And here you can see they started to record my macro. Okay, here, so by default you can see my cursor is here. So if I just click here, so this is the first command which I gave here. So again I'll come to sheet number 3. So this is the second command, and I will bring my cursor here, and this is the fourth command, and let me just write happy. Go down here, so this is another command. Sad, moody, angry. Okay, so here I have already put all these commands here. So again I'll come here in this option, another command which I gave here. So now I want to stop this particular recording here. So I'll just click on stop recording. So here now I do have a macro here. So to view the macro, I'll just go to the Visual Basic option. And as you can see here in this Visual Basic option, I have already deleted the module before, like before closing this page here. But after saving that, here you can see I do have the modules. So if I click here, you can see I do have the module number 1. Okay, so here if I click, you can see I do have the language or the code. Okay, so here you can see it ends by default with sub, and it also ends with sub, like it starts with sub and it ends with sub. Here you can see, and after sub here you can see the name which I gave. So the name I gave is the first VBA, and after that here you can see the first VBA macro, and after that I do here have the coding or the language. So here you can see all the commands which I gave. So what I did first here is the range. Okay, so the range is a particular tab or the place. Okay, so this is the E5. So first what I did, I selected the E5, and after selecting the E5, my second command here was I went to sheet number 3, and after going to the sheet number 3, I selected an active cell where I have wrote this particular thing. So here I can put the active cell dot formula R1C1, and using this option inside the bracket I put this, and after that what I did is again I went to E5 and I wrote this, and in E6 I have wrote this one, E7 I have wrote this, and after that again I came to class or another page which is the sheet number 2, and my command was over. Okay, so here you can see I do have the coding. Okay, but I don't know now, like we don't know how we can write a coding. So here we can actually see how we can actually write a coding from here, how we can change the objects from here. Like till now I guess you have a quite better idea how we can actually write a coding. Like at least you got a little idea of how we can run this here. So in that case what I'm going to do is I'll just put it here in one corner. Okay, and let me just minimize this tab, and after minimizing this tab here, if I go to sheet number 3 and if I select this, and I want to delete all this tab here, so I'll just click on delete. So I have deleted this tab. Now I don't have all this here, but I will be showing you how we can actually run the macro which I have just recorded. So again I'll come to the VBA page here. And after coming to the VBA page, what I'm going to do is here on this standard toolbar here, you can see I do have the run option here. Okay, and the shortcut key for the run option is F5. Okay, we can only click F5. Okay, so let me just decrease the size of this particular page here that you will be able to see. We can decrease the size from here, or I'll just decrease the size from down here, and I'll just put it somewhere here. Okay, so I'll just put it somewhere here. And now if I click on this run option here, you can see, let me click the run option here. So here you could have seen a slight change in this system here, but it was quite fast. uh, and if I run it again, okay, so here you can see there was a slight change. And now if I go to the sheet number 3, so in the sheet number 3 you can see I have deleted all those things, but these were the commands which I have used, and it have just applied here again in this workspace. So likewise we can create any kind of command, and we can just give this command to this page where we work. So here it already did the work, and here the same thing that did. My tab is here, you can see. So now let me first go here again to this VBA page, and I have already run this. But what I want to do is I want to see like step by step how it actually works. So for that, like if I click on F5, it will just automatically run the whole command here, all the whole module. So from here what I'll do is I'll go to the view option again, and I'll go to the toolbar, and from the toolbar what I'll choose is I'll choose the debug toolbar. So I will take my debug toolbar here, and I'll adjust it right here underneath the standard toolbar. Okay, so this the run option I have here as well, and I also do have the run option here, which is F5. Okay, and suppose I want to put out a description here, because while creating the macro I didn't do anything. So I'll go to the design mode or the edit mode. If I on this design mode, I can actually write here. So let me edit a description here, the VBA project, and I will come here. So here you can see after I wrote this one here, the system automatically understood that this is the description. So this is coming in green color, as you can see. And if I want to go line by line, if I want to see what it have done here, like how my macro actually work, if I want to see it slow, so for that what I'm going to do is I'll click on F8. Okay, so let me first click on F8. So now here, as I told you, I want to run it stepwise, that we guys will be able to have a better view how how this actually command works, like how I save the command and how it actually works step by step. So from here I will just click on F8, and here you can see I'll first exit the design mode from here. So I have exited from the design mode, and after that I'll just go back, or there is something. So after clicking on F8 here, you guys will be able to see that it will move step by step. Okay, it will show me step by step here, and it will actually skip all those parts. Okay, it will also skip this description option, because it is not a command, this is just a description. So this is written in green, And from here, if I want to edit anything else, I'll go to the design mode and I can change the command from here as well. Okay. So if I want to see it like step by step or slowly how it actually works, so first I'll just run it here. I will go here and I will run from here. You can see it is already run, and the last step was it will come to the E5 tab here. And now what I'll do is again I'll come here, and from here if I want to add another module, I'll again go to the insert option, and here I'll on this, and if I want to add module, I can add a different module as well. Okay, and I can name them accordingly. So here you can see I have added 3 more modules, and here in this bar here in this project also, like in the project explorer option also, I can see under module I have 4 modules now. Okay, so if I want to delete this, I can remove the module 4 from here. Okay, and I don't want to export it, and I'll again delete this one, and I will delete this as well from here. Okay, so here I hope you guys have understood how we actually can add different module pages here, and you guys have got an idea, like at least a bit of idea in this introduction class about this interface and how we can actually work. So here I have also shown you guys about the standard toolbar, the debug toolbar here. Okay, so here I do have the option if I want to add or remove the button. Here if I want to unmark anything which I don't want, I can do it from here. If I just click there, and from here if I unmark this, if I don't want any option, okay, I can do that as well. Okay, so here from here I will just go back, and so now we'll see here that if I particularly want to write a code, okay, so I don't want this command here, I want to write a different command. So I'll just be showing you guys how we can basically do that. So here what I'll do is I'll just come here, I'll just delete this particular command from here. Okay, I'll just delete, and from here what I'm going to do is I'll just type my own. Okay, so for that first I will be writing here range bracket, and after that I'll be selecting the B1, closing down the bracket here, and after that B1 inside the quotation, I'll put it inside quotation, and I'll click on B1 again inside the quotation, and I'll just close down the bracket from here, and after that I'll be writing dot select here, and I'll just go down here, and from here I will write whatever I want. Okay, I'll write active cell dot formula. I'll be selecting this formula R1C1. So this one I'll be choosing from here, and I'll be just giving this, and inside the bracket whatever I want to write I can write it from here. Okay, so I'll just write class, I'll close down the bracket, or I'll just close down with the quotation mark here. So I'll come down again here. Here you can see I have used the small letter but here by default it will choose like it doesn't matter you use the small caps or the lower caps. So here you can use anything. So after that, from here again I'll be writing range, and I'll just open the bracket from here, and I will choose this, and I will take B2, select the quotation, then close down the bracket from here, okay, and I'll put dot, select, go down again here, and after that I will be writing in which sheet I want. So I'll write sheets, I'll open the bracket again here, and I will write inside my quotation sheet 1, bracket closed, and I will just dot select again here. So now I'll be just running this code which I have just written here. So I have put up a command that first it will go to the E5, and after that it will select the sheet number 3, and in B1 it will go, and after going to B1 it will just write class here. So in the active cell, so here I have put the formula here, which is active cell dot formula R1C1. So again it will go to B2, it will select the B2, and it will come here in the, I have forgot to put down the bracket here, then it won't be able to run if I do have any kind of error here. So before applying or running this, I need to check that this one is in place. Okay, so from here what I'll do is I'll just delete all this. Okay, so here in all these pages I don't have anything, as you can see. Again I'll go to the VBA page here, and what I'll do is from here I'll run this command which I have just written here. Okay, I can just click on F5 or I can just run it from here. So here, okay, I do have a problem here. As you can see here in this option, I do have a problem. Okay, so I'll click on OK, and I will just delete this one, and let me run it now. So here you can see when I just ran this one, the command, you can see it just wrote class here, and this one is the B1, and my cursor is here in the B2. Okay, so here if I show you guys what command did I give. So the command first one I gave is it will select the E5 here. So here it is the sheet number 3. Okay, and under sheet number 3 first it will select the B1 option, and under B1 in an active cell, which is the B1 here, you can see it on my screen, and here inside the quotation I have written the class. Okay, and after that here you can see it has selected the B2 tab here. So here you can see my cursor is in B2. So I hope you guys have understood how we can actually, like the basic of how we can actually write a code here in this VBA. So this was the introductory class where I have just showed you about the application and how we can actually work, how we can open the developer option, how we can actually open the Visual Basic, how we can actually run a module, and first before running that, how we can actually save that module, how we can modify the module, how we can run, and how we also can run it step by step using the F8 in our keyboard. Okay, so hope to see you all in my next tutorial on this Excel. We'll be learning more basic things about how we can write the code and how it will be more useful to us. So hope to see you all in the next tutorial in this Excel VBA. Take care everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another tutorial in Excel VBA coding. So here in this class, we are basically going to learn about how to name and select sheets in this workspace or in our Excel VBA. So here in last class, what we have understood or what we have learned is how we can actually use the developer option from here and how we can actually record a macro particularly. We have learned about all that in our last class. So in this class, what we are going to do is we are going to write a code of our own. Okay. In last class, I have shown you guys by recording a macro. Then after that, I have just edited that macro by itself. But in this class, what we are going to do is we'll just write a particular code of our own and we'll also learn and see how it actually works. And we'll name it accordingly here in this page. So let's not waste our time and let's get started with this tutorial. Okay. So here I am here in my VBA page and I will go to the Visual Basic option and I will click this one. And after clicking this, you guys can see I do have the application here where I will write my code. Okay. So here now I have shown you guys how we can insert a module. Okay. So I'll go in this insert option here and I'll just click on a module. So here you can see I do have the module here and I can just readjust the spacing here and just to write a particular or to start writing a code or a language in this Excel VBA. So first I need to start with sub as I have told you guys. So I'll just write sub. I'll give space here. And now I want to put up a name. So here I told you in last class that before putting any kind of name here in this, if I just write a name VBA Excel class, and I have told you that we should not use any kind of symbols or any kind of marks here. So let me just show you. If I choose this one here and close down the bracket here, and if I try to run now, here you can see I'm having some kind of problem here. Okay, here I need to cancel this and now there is a compile error. Okay, expected is identifier without type suffix, and I'll click here on OK and I will come here. And now what I do is if I click on enter, here you can see now I don't have any problem here because I don't have any kind of spacing or any kind of markings here. But in the same way, if I put a underscore here, the Excel is built in such a way that it reads the underscore here. Only the underscore is applicable, which we can use here in this VBA application while writing our coding. Oh, okay. And if I run it now, you will be able to see that it runs properly. I just clicked here and there was no problem as such. And after writing the topic or the name, like I also told you how we can actually name and how we should name. If you're particularly saving a module for a particular thing, that we don't get confused, we need to name it properly, that if you want to use it for that particular work later on, that we don't have a hectic time, that we need to just search where is that module which I saved, where is that macro which I saved. So for that now I can write it. So I'll just create a space, and as you saw that after clicking here, I don't have to write the end sub here differently. Okay, it will just come by default here. Okay, so now let me start with writing the command. So what I want to do is first in which sheet I'm going to work. So for that I'll just write here sheets. I'll just open the bracket and here I want to select the sheet number 2, which I named as class. So I'll just put up the quotation. I'll write class and I'll just close the bracket again. So from here I have just closed the bracket again, and after that what I'll do is I'll just click on dot select, and I will come down here, and what I want to do is I'll just select the range from here. So I'll just select a particular range, and I'll be also telling you guys how we can actually select the range and why we particularly write range. So if you're selecting more than one tab from here, like if I'm selecting so many tabs, it is all name. So here if I select this particular tab here, this is C8. This one is named C8. Okay, and particularly it all have their own names. Okay, so let me go back to this coding. So I'll just select the name here. So I'll just come here, and I will just open the bracket from here, and I will put it inside a bracket or the quotation mark. So I'll be selecting the B4, close down the bracket, dot select. And now I do have this particular coding here. Here you can see it have changed it, and it have identified the small caps and everything. And now I'll just write again here sheets, and I will choose the sheet number 1. Open the bracket from here. Okay, so I'll just click here, and I will choose inside quotation. I will write sheet 1, sheet 1. I'll close down, dot select. And now let me just run this particular thing here. Okay, let me just run this one. Okay, I do have an error because I did put the bracket here. Okay, so I'll come here directly, and I'll just close down this bracket from here. Now here I have already told you guys, if I want to run it like the total thing at once, I can run it from F5. But if I want to run it step by step here, so from here also, from this toolbar which I have, this one is the debug toolbar. So from here also I can run it step by step using this step into. Okay, or the shortcut key is F8. So here if I click on this one, you can select it have selected my topic or the name of that, which is VBA Excel class. And after that, if I come here again, here you can see it has selected the class. And if I go to the sheet 1, okay, and after that if I go to range B4, here you can see it have selected the B4. Okay, so here you guys saw that when I just ran this module, it ran quite smoothly. Okay, because I do have my sheet 1 here as well, and I also do have the class sheet here, which is the sheet number 2. But here, okay, let me write something else here. Okay, let me just type sheet 3. Okay, sheet 3 here. And now if I'm trying to run this particular thing here, okay, here you guys can see I do have an error here. Okay, here you can see I do have an error, substitute out of range, because it's not able to find where is the sheet number 3. Okay, because I did rename this sheet number 3 as the teacher, so I am not able to find at this module, or this command is not complete. Okay, but in the same way, if I just put here, I'll just debug this one, and I will be writing teacher here. And now if I want to run this particular code here, you can see it will run smoothly. As you can see, I'm doing it step by step. Here, first I will come here. Okay, this is the topic, and after that I will come to this page here. Okay, here, and I will select this particular thing. And now if I again click on this step into, which is F8, it's showing me the B2 box here. Okay, the B2 tab here, and I can end this here. And if I totally run this whole module here, so here you can see it's my cursor is there on the B2 tab here. Here you can see the name of this particular box. Okay, so now from here I'll just delete this particular sheet. And now if I want to run this particular page, it will run smoothly, as you can see. Okay, it ran smoothly. So now if I just try to change, or if I interchange the page number from here, suppose I am writing sheet number 1. So here if I come, as you can see, I do have my sheet number 1 here. Let me again go to this box here. Okay, and here what I'll do is, if I want to select a range of tabs here, so what I'm going to do is I'll come here, and here I do have my B2, and I'll be using the colon, and using the colon I can just type till where I want. So from B2 I'll take B7. Okay, so here again I'll just try to run it from here. Okay, and here you can see it particularly selected from B2 till B7 here, as you can see. Okay, and likewise, suppose if I don't want to put the particular name, okay, I don't want to put the particular name of this page here. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I can just only write 1. Okay, if I just write 1, and now I again try to run this command, okay, I'll be able to write the command. So here you can see in sheet number 1, if I come here again, here in sheet number 1, it is selecting the range from B2 till B7. Okay, and in the same way I can also change it to 2. So now it will not be able to select. Oh, okay, sorry, it will be able to select because I didn't put any particular name. Okay, so here if I just try to run it again, here you can see in my sheet number 2, which I named as class, will also is also selected from B2 till B7 cell. Okay, and after this you can see it's selected here. So likewise, how many sheets we have, we can just put the sheet number. But why do we use the name? Basically is, suppose we did a work, we did a particular module here, we created a coding here, and now my editor or my coworker, what they did is they have changed, like they have changed the spacing. Like here now you can see, now my page number 2 is the teacher page, and my page number 3 is the class page. Okay, so here now if I want to make any changes here, it will be changed in this sheet number 2. Okay, but for if I want to select the class, this one, then I have to select number 3 here, and I have to run this particular coding. Okay, so here it's selecting now, as you can see, it selected the B2 till B7, it's sheet number 3. So most of the cases it's better that we rename, or we just name our particular pages in our workspace particularly, that if we have 10 or more pages as well, if we just put the name here, suppose I want to put the teacher page, so I'll just open the quotation and I'll be writing teacher, and I will run this code again here. So now you guys can see here it's selecting in this page number 2. It doesn't matter where my page is. If someone did a mistake as well, or someone have interchanged the pages in between, I can also select the particular page which I want. So this is a good or advantageous point in case of naming the pages. Okay. And suppose if I write any name, like if I just do a error, and if I try to run here, okay, like if I just try to run this particular page, here I will have error 9, which is like it is out of range. Like I don't have any kind of pages in my workspace or this application, or which page I'm working on names as teacher. Okay, because there is a spelling mistake here. Okay, so I'll just debug here, and I'll just change the name. So now if I try to run it again, you can see it will run smoothly. So in a case of a range, I have selected from B2 till B7, and I can do it according to my need. Okay, so instead of range, I can also write cells. Okay, here. So after writing the cells, if I just open bracket, here you can see I do have the row index and the column index. Okay, so inside this cell option also we can select many kind of cells. But in the next class, we'll be learning which is better, like what's the difference and which is better between choosing the range or the cells option. So to learn more about this range and cells, stay tuned with this tutorial where I'll be explaining you guys more about the range and the cell option. Okay, so take care everyone, and see you all in the next tutorial. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another tutorial on Excel VBA. So in this class, we'll be learning about the difference and which one we should use, the range or the cells. So let's get started with the class. So now I'll be writing the cells. I'll just open the bracket, and after opening the bracket, you can see I do have the row index and also the column index. So first I'll select the row index. So what does this basically mean? So let's come here in this page. So first I have to select the row number. Suppose I want to select a particular box here. So suppose I want to select the D1. So the D1 is here. As you can see, my cursor is in the D1. So here I do have the D1, and I want to select it here. Okay, so for that, first I have to select the row number. Okay, so in which row I do have this one? So I do have it in row number 1. So I'll click on 1, I'll give a comma, and this one is in 4. The D is in the column number 4. So I'll click on 4, and I will close the bracket. I'll just select dot select, and now I'll try to run this particular page. As you can see, when I'm just ending my command, it's my cursor is here in the D1. Okay, and in the same way I can do it for other as well. So if I delete, I want my cursor to be in the E7. Okay, so I'll just write the 7 first, comma, E is number 5 column. Okay, I'll select 5. I'll close down the bracket, and from here I'll put dot select, and I'll try to run this one again from here. Okay, And here you can see it selected the E5 option here. So hope you guys have understood how we can actually select these cells. Okay, like how we can actually select a particular cell here. And now I want to create another command. So here we can do it in two ways. Here, if I go to the insert option, okay, I can create another module where I can create another command, or I can write a different type of code. But as I've told you guys, I can also write a different code here just underneath this one. Okay, so for that one, I'll just come here, and from here I will write sub, and I'll just end this one. Okay, okay, and so here I will write another module. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll just start with sub. I'll just give a bracket, and I will just name this one as tutorial. Okay, tutorial, and bracket closed, and I'll just click on enter. So you can see here is a different command, and from here I'm just starting out with a different command. So here what I'll do is I'll come to the sheets, and I'll be selecting the sheet named as class. So I'll put it under quotation dot, and I'll just close this box, then dot select, come down here, and I'll be choosing the range. Okay, so I'll just choose the cell. Okay, I'll just choose the cell. I will open this particular box here, and I will be selecting the 1 into 1. So which is the A1 box. I'll just close down this box, and I'll come down here. Okay, I do have a error here. I just forgot to put dot select. I'll come down here, and here I want to write a particular thing. So we know what we have to write if we want to put anything in our box. So for that I'll be writing active cell dot formula R1 C1 R1 C1. So here I do have this. So formula R1 C1. Then I will choose this, and from here inside the quotation I'll be writing what I want. Okay, so I want to write very bad, and I will close the quotation, and I'll press on enter here. And now here I have written this one as well. So let me just check if there is any kind of error or not. But there is not. I do believe that one. And here you can see I do have this here. So what I'm going to do is I'll come here. I'll just delete this particular thing here. And here I'll be writing another code. So here in this first module, or this in first particular coding, I'll write something in that box as well. Okay, so for that I'll just write again active, or I'll just copy paste this one from here just to save the time. I'll copy, I'll paste from here, but here I will just change the content a little bit. So first, this second one is very bad, and here I have written very good, and here I will close down the box here, and here now let me run from here. Okay, So from here, if I want to run, so as you can see, and if I come here and again I want to run this one, so I will click here. So I'll click here. Okay, I'm having some difficulty here, but I'll be showing you guys actually how we can run this both all together. And I will be just coming on top here. So here you can see I do have two commands here. Okay. So from this page, what I'll do is I'll just delete everything, whatever I have here. So I'll just delete. If I have anything here as well, I will delete this. I'll go to this page again. So here I will be selecting the same page, okay, that it will be easy for us to understand. Class, uh, quotation, bracket closed, and I'll be putting dot select here. Okay, so I do have this here, as you can see. And now what I'll be doing is I'll just run it through. Okay, so first off, I'll come here. Let me just go back. So now let's see and run this code here. Okay, so from here, I'll come again here in this step into. So I will just run this particular macro. You guys can see here, and I will just end this one and come here. And again, I will run this one. So there you can see in my screen on the left here how it actually works. Okay, so I have created two macros here in a single module. So here now I can send this or use it here like this. Okay, if I'm sending it to my client, will I tell him that, okay, I have sent you the module you use? So basically what we do here is we will just be creating a button here. Okay, so let me just delete all this. What all do I have in my page here? Okay, I will delete this as well. From here, let me just have a check here. Okay, I'll be just changing this particular name. Like I'll be changing it to class in the same page. Select. Okay, it's dot select dot select. Let me just run it again. That there is no problem here. Let me run it here as well. Okay, now I do have this here. So now what I'll be doing is I'll just minimize this bar. I'll delete this one and this cell as well. And now I will just insert a particular shape if I want to create here. So I'll come here in the insert option. So from the insert option, I'll just take any kind of symbols, or I'll just take a box if I want to create. So I can take any kind of shapes from the illustrators. So I'll just select this particular box and I will make a box here and using Alt, or I will just do the same here as well. I'll just create another box here. So now I do have two boxes here, and if I want to name it, here I will just right click and I can just click on edit text. So from here, I will be naming this one as very good. And the same way, this other button here or the box which I have created, I'll just click on edit text. I'll just click very bad. I'll click on enter, and I do have this box here. I'll just increase the size a little bit from here. So now, if I want to put that module here, what I'll do is I will just right click and I want to assign the micro, okay? The micro which I have in my VBA. So I have to assign that same micro here. Like once you click on that button, it will be redirected to that particular text in that particular box or the coding which I wrote. So for that, I'll just come here in the assign micro option, which is just underneath the smart lookup option. So I'll click here. And here, as you can see, the name is rectangle one. Okay. So here, I do have two option here. Okay. Like I do have two macros here. So what I will do is I can select any one from here. Okay. Which one I want to assign. Okay. So if I click here and if I click on OK, it's assigned. And here the same way I will go to the assign micro option and I will select this one from here and I will click on OK. So now if I click here, you can see there is a problem that can't execute code in break mode. Okay, so here I will just go again from here and I'll click on OK. And here it's in the break mode. So I'll just unselect the break mode and I will come here. And I have that time I have just opened the break mode. So I'll just stop the break mode. And now if I select this one, here you can see once I have clicked here, the opposite is coming. Okay, here. And here if I am clicking on very bad, here I do have the same kind of macro which I have put here. So the same way, if I click, you can see. Okay, if I go back here, I will just select this particular box again and I'll click on delete. I will just click on delete. Okay. And I hope you guys have understood like how we can create a button here and how we can actually make a font. Okay. So here through the insert option, I'll go to the Illustrator. From here, I want to take any kind of shapes, or if I want to take any kind of icon, 3D models, I can take those from here. I can create a particular button. And after clicking on that particular button, as I already do have these macros here, I can apply these macros in my buttons that once someone clicks on that particular button, it will directly redirect it to my coding or the language which I have wrote in my module 1. And under this same module, I do have two macros. Here you can see this is the first macro and this one is the second macro. So in this class, we have understood about the cells, like how we can actually write cell code here. And here also I have showed you guys how we can actually write any content inside our cell. So I hope you guys have understood here till this much. And now if I want to change the name of that module, see here in the module, by default, the name is module 1. So if I want to change the module name, that it will be easier for me to identify this particular module if I want to use it for later, what I'm going to do. So here I'll come, I do need the properties panel. So for that, I'll go to the view here. As you can see, just beside the edit option, I do have the view option. So I'll click here. And just underneath the project explorer, I do have the properties window. And the shortcut key for that is F4. We can use that as well. So once I click this one, I'll just change the size from here, that I can also see my project explorer here. As you can see, I do have it here. Okay. And from here, you can see the name is module 1. So from here, I can change the name to, let me give it a VBA coding tutorial. Okay. And I can save it here. Okay. Okay, I think I used spaces. That's why there was a problem here. VBA coding, and I will click on enter. So here, as you can see, once I have renamed the module name, here you can see the module here in my project explorer also have changed. Okay, so I can also save this particular coding here. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this class where I have explained you about the range and the cells, like how it's different, how we can write cells, how we can select a cell. First, we have to go through the first we have to select the column row number. After that, we have to select the column number, and how we can write inside a particular cell. And we have also learned how we can rename the module. And in next class, we'll be learning a little more about this VBA Excel. We're just getting deeper into this class where we'll be learning a lot. Okay. So after this, we'll be learning about the offset in VBA Excel, which is quite important class. So I hope every one of you join, where we'll be seeing about the offset with range and with cells, and also how we can use this offset using the active cell. Okay, so hope to see you all in the next tutorial, and I hope you guys are understanding this lesson. And the main thing about this Excel VBA is, as it includes coding, we need to practice it more often. And once we start practicing it, and once we are familiar with this application or using this coding, it will be quite easy for us to write a code and apply our language and apply the work what we want to do. Okay, so hope to see you all in the next tutorial, and take care for now. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another tutorial in Excel VBA. So in this class, we are going to learn how we can actually select a particular set of text or a particular set of cells, and how we can actually copy and I can paste those particular things, and many more. And at last, I'll be showing you like what all we have learned till this much in our class. I'll just make a small project that you guys can see and understand what is the use of this Excel VBA in the real life or in the live project. So I'll be showing you guys that as well. So in last class, I have already told you guys that how we can actually suppose I selected this particular cell here. Okay, and now if I want to bring it down, so using my control and down button, I can go to the last field box or the last field cell here. And the same way, if I click on control and if I click on the right button on my keyboard, I'll go to the last field box. And again, after this, on my right hand side, I don't have any boxes which is filled. So if I again click on right, I'll be ending up on the last cell in my Excel. And again, if I click on the left, you can see I'm back to the normal here, like I'm back to my last field text here, like in the last field cell here. Okay, so here now what I'll do is, let's try to understand the basic of Excel, and let's try to understand one thing. For understanding the basic level of Excel VBA, first we need to learn about the Excel, like the shortcut of Excel, because it will increase our efficiency, and it will also save our time while working in this particular application. So for that, what I'll be doing is I'll select this particular text here. Okay, and I will come here in the home option, and I'll just align it in the center. that you guys will be able to understand better and you guys won't mix up, and it looks quite good as well like this. Okay, so now what I'll be doing is I want to select this particular text, then I want to copy this, and after that I want to paste this particular box here, box of content. As you can see, I have written A, B, C, D, E, F, G till H, and I have put number till 1 to 8 here. So I'll just choose here the first box, and using my keyboard, the Control plus Shift, I'll just choose the down key, and here you can see I have selected this particularly, and again I will just come here, and as you can see this whole box of content is selected, and from my keyboard I'll click on Control plus C, which is copy, and after that I will go to the different sheet. In the sheet number 2 I will click on Control plus V, and I have pasted it here. Okay, as you can see in my sheet number 2 I have pasted it. So now if I do have different components here, so this is the way how we can copy and paste. So let me come here in this text 2, like the sheet 2, I'll just delete this from here. Okay, I'll just delete the entire column, and let's go to sheet number 1 from here again. And now what I will do is I'll come here in the developer option, I'll go to the Visual Basic, and from here I will try to create a new macro. Okay, so before creating a macro, I do have a special feature which I call it, I'll be recording the macro from here. So it's quite easier way if I record the macro, and after recording the macro I'll be editing it in the special places where it's necessary. Okay, so from here I'll come here, I'll just minimize this page here. So I'll select this particular box here, and after selecting this particular box what I'll do is I'll click on Control plus Shift, and I'll be clicking on the right button here. Okay, oh, I just forgot. Okay, I forgot the main thing, to record my macro. So I'll click on record macro here, and as you can see it's coming macro 1. So I don't want to put any shortcut key for that. I will store this in my workbook, in this particular workbook, and I don't want to add any description. So I'll start and click on OK. So from here, first I will click Control plus Shift right, and after that I'll be clicking on the down button, Control Shift plus down button, and now I have selected this particular text. Now using this I will Control plus C, so I have copied this particular thing. Then I'll go to sheet number 2. So from sheet number 2 I will come here in this A1 box here, and I will just paste using Control plus V. Okay, as you can see I have also pasted using the Control plus V. So from here I will choose the active cell as the A1. I'll click in this one, and again using my Control key I will click on Control, and I will just go down. So it's going to the last field box here, and after that I will just go down here, okay, on the blank box here, and now I will go to sheet number 1 again. So here when I went to sheet number 1, again I will select this box from here, and from here I will stop the recording of the macro. So I'll click here on stop. So now I have recorded. So I'll go to the Visual Basic option, So here you can see I do have the module 2 here. So here in this module 2, you can see, like, I will just delete this module 1 from here. Okay, I will delete this one. No, and I will bring this one here. And let's see what this have got me. Okay, I have recorded this macro, and this is the coding it gave me. Okay, so here you can see the coding. We will understand and go through this one by one. Okay, we'll try to understand it basically. So in last class, I have told you guys about like the Excel to write. So if I click on Control and then I click on the right button in my keyboard, it will go to the last field uh, cell in my workspace. Okay, and the same if I click on Control and this is the formula for going to the down. Okay, so here the range is selection comma selection dot end excel down dot select. So by this is the formula for if I just press Control and if I go down, so it will go to the last field cell. Okay, so here after that it goes to the sheet number 2 I selected. So let me just come here and run this macro here. Okay, so I'll just run this macro. I'll click here. Okay, so from here, as you can see, it's being selected and it's going down. So from here, again, range 1, here, active sheet dot paste, okay, and selection dot end, excel down dot select, and it's going to sheet number 1 and range B1, and it's just ending here. So from here, what we will be doing now is I'll come here and I do have my macro here. So in that case, I will just undo all this. Okay. And I do have it here, as you can see. So I will just delete this one. Okay. I'll come to this particular box here. I'll come here to this particular box. I'll go to the Visual Basic, and from the basic, I will type range R-A-R-A-N-G-E range. I'll select B2, then close the box here, dot select. Okay. And after that, I will just come down here. So now let's try to run again this particular thing here. Okay, I didn't add any kind of page number here because the range B2 can be in sheet number 1, or it can be in sheet number 2, or it can be in sheet number 3, right? So here I have to basically mention it. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll just type sheet. I'll just type sheets. I'll open the box here, and now I will type 1. Okay, I'll just type 1, then close that particular box here, then dot select. And now I'll try to run this one. So here you can see this one is not selected. So I will just cut this one. And now I have to the range B2, and I will come here and after that it's selecting all this. Here you can select it selected a particular sheet here, and after that if I go to the range, you can see uh, I do have the particular range here, and I have selected this, and I'm selecting the range B1, and I'm ending it at last. So from here, what change I can do is, suppose if I add more content here, okay? So suppose not here in sheet number 1, I will do in sheet number 2 here. So here suppose I did write other content here, and I'll just type few numbers, okay? I'm just writing random numbers just to show you guys an example, and I'll go to the Visual Basic, and again I will be running this same module or the same macro here. So I'll come here, I will try to go step by step here, okay? So I first go to the sheet number 1, and from here I will come here again, okay? And as you can see, I do have this here, okay? So here now I'm in my sheet number 2. So here you can see uh, there is some problem, okay? Like the range B1, which I selected, and once I end, how it will end, okay? So here, this is ending somewhere here. My tab is here, okay? But what I want to do is, in that case, I'll come here, instead of range A9, what I will do is, I will just cut this particular page, and I will be writing active cell, active cell dot offset. Here you can see I do have the offset, and I will give range. I have already showed you guys about the offset in last class, so I'll put 1 and 0, and I will just this I'll just close the bracket, the dot select, and yeah, now it's done here. And again I'll run this particular setting here, go to the shift number 1, then again run this macro here. Here as you can see, now once I come here, and now as you can see, I do have this, and I can also paste this particular thing from here, copy this, click enter here, and I can paste it here as well. And now if I run the macro again, you guys will be able to see my last destination, or my cursor will be in a free bracket, okay? So here you guys can see, so here you can see I have it here, okay? Just if my range is B1, as this is the B1, and here I do have my this one. So in the same way, if I change it to B8, okay, I will have the bracket here, okay? So if I change it to B8 here, and now if I run, see my active cell here will be down here once I click this, okay? Here you can see I do have my sheet here, and in that case, if I add more content here, no problem with that, because it will just do it by itself. And now again, if I run this particular page here, I'll come here, I will run this particular macro here. You guys can see it will come somewhere here as Now I'm in sheet number 1. So here you can see, okay, as I have B8 here, so it's selecting the B9, okay, here. So it is selecting the B9 option here. So likewise, we can actually do, and we can actually also do in the right side as well. I have also showed you guys how to do it in the column section. So now let's see about the different options here. So now I hope I have made you guys understand how we can actually select, copy, and edit this module. Okay, like the edit the particular macro. We can use this recording, like we can record a particular macro and we can edit it and use it accordingly for us. Like we can just change the major things because it will also save our time. We just don't have to sit around and write the whole coding thing here. So this recording macro is quite a useful one, but particularly we do have to use it very useful way. Okay, we can't use it in a rough way. So let me come here. I will just delete everything from here. Okay, I'll just select this particular thing. I will just delete everything. So from here and here as well. So I will delete this one as well. Okay, then again, I'll go to the sheet number 1. So from sheet number 1, what we'll do is I will just write few things here. So let me just write. I will just fill this page or fill this particular page here. And what I'll do is I'll come in the home, select all this, and I'll just align it in the center. And now what I'll be doing is if in my sheet number 2, I do have other contents. Okay. Suppose I do have different content here. Okay. Let me just paste the same thing here, copy, and I will just paste it here. And I also do have many other things, okay? Like I will just fill this box. And now it's in the center, as you guys can see. Once I have aligned it in the center, it will be coming in the center. Again, go to the developer box here, Visual Basic. So from here, what I'm going to do is here I will be creating a new module or new macro. So to start a macro, I'll just name it as sub, then selection class, then my bracket, click on enter. Now I do have this. I'll just increase the spacing. So here I will just select this particular thing from here and I will be just editing. Okay. So what I'll be doing now. So now again here, let me show you guys with some proper thing here. So I'll just select this particular text. I'll just delete this. So from here I will delete, and the sheet number 1 also I will come here and I'll delete this whole entire box here. Okay, so from here what I'll be doing is first I'll come here and I will write name, then number, gender, and class. DOB is date of birth. Okay, so I have this here, name, number, gender, class, date of birth. Okay, so the same thing I'll come here in the sheet number 1. I'll write here name, number, gender, class, and date of birth. Okay, gender, class, and DOB, which is the date of birth. Okay, so as you can see, I do have it here and I do have it here in this sheet as well. So here I will come, and from this Visual Basic, I'll just write my code. So first I'll put the page number or the sheets, then I will put the bracket here, sheets, and I will put the quotation mark, and I'll put sheet 1, and I will close the bracket, dot select, and I will come down here again, and I will choose the range. I'll choose the range from here, and I will open the bracket. So I'll choose the B1, bracket closed, then dot select. Okay, so I do have this for now. So from this recorded macro, again I'll come here, and from here I'll choose this option, like range selection, selection.end excel down.select. So I'll just copy this, and from here I'll come here and I will paste it here. Okay, and after that what I will do is I will choose this selection.copy. Okay, I'll select this selection.copy and I'll copy this particular text here, and I will just paste it here. So now from here, like as I have copied, where I'll be going? So I'll be copying it to the next page. So from here, I will go to the sheets and sheet 2.select. I'll copy this particular text and I'll come here and I'll just paste it here. So as you can see, I do have it like first I selected the sheet number 1, then I selected the range B1, then I selected this, and I just copied and I went to sheet number 2 from here. Okay, so if I want to rename those sheets as well, I can rename it as well, but hope you guys are able to understand using the sheet 1 and sheet 2 as well. Okay, and after I chose sheet number 2 here, okay, so what I'm going to do now, where in sheet number 2 I want to paste this particular thing. Okay, like I want to paste it where I want to particularly paste it. So let's go to sheet number 2 here. Okay, so I want to paste it here somewhere. Okay, let's try to understand this part here clearly. So I want to paste it here in the A1 cell. Okay, so in my programming page or in my macro, what I need to do is I need to select the range first. Okay, so in that case, what I'll do is I'll go to the Visual Basic here and I'll just type the range. Okay, so let me type the range, open the bracket here, and I'll write the cell A1. It will be inside the quotation A1. Then again, I'll just close down the bracket here and I'll write dot select. Okay, so now what I want is here, I want to fill these boxes. Okay, and I want my component to be in this particular box. Okay, like in those boxes, if I fill my data here, that it will be saved here. Like if I go to my sheet 1, if I fill any information, it should be saved here. So from here, what I will do is I'll come here to the recorded macro and I'll select a selection dot end Excel down dot select. So I will just copy this particular thing here and I will paste. Okay. And again, I will select this one and I will copy and I will paste here. Okay. And in the same way here, now I put Excel down twice. Okay. So if this is my active cell here, and if I fill anything here, it will come down here. And again, it will go down if I do Excel down. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'll be writing Excel up here. Okay. So here I will go down here again. I'll select this particular text and I will copy and I will paste it here. But instead of Excel down, I will fill with Excel up. Okay. And now I do have it here. And from here, I need to choose the active cell dot offset. Okay. So what I want is I'll just select this particular thing from here and I will just paste it here. And this is the offset which I want. This is row 1 and I want it in the same column. So I am not choosing anything here, but I want it in the same row. Okay. I want this blank spot here. Okay. So again to the Visual Basic here. So after using the offset here, okay, I will get my blank space where this data and everything will be saved. Okay. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transpose this. Like now I want my data to be horizontal, but in sheet number 1 you can see it's in vertical place. Okay, but all the same data which I have here, I want it in horizontally here in this page number 2 or the sheet number 2. So what I'm going to do is I'll come here and now I'll be again using the record macro. Okay, so I'll be recording a macro that I get the formula from here, like what I basically want to do. Then you guys will understand. So like this, we can actually use it here. So let me come here. So I'll start recording a macro here. Okay. So I'll click on record macro and here it's named as macro 5 and I will name it as transpose and I will click on OK. So from here, I'll select this cell I'll just click on control and I'll go down or I'll select this particular text. I'll press Control Shift down and I'll just press again Control C to copy this particular thing. Then I'll go to my sheet number 2 and in sheet number 2 here I want to put it in a horizontal place. So I want to paste it. So I'll just right click on my mouse and under the paste options you can see I do have the paste spatial option. So I'll click here and after that here you can see a page popped up here and on the right side on the down part there is an option called transport. You can see on my mouse. So I'll click on transpose and I will click on OK. So as you can see, once I clicked on paste or the transpose, here I can see I do have my number here in horizontal. Okay. And I will stop recording the macro here. Okay. So I'll just stop recording here. And now I'll just view it from my Visual Basic. Okay. So here, as you can see, I do have another module here. So it's saved in the module 3. So as you can see here, I do have the coding here. Okay. So I'll just bring it a little down here that you guys can see properly. So from here you can see like I selected and I went Excel down. Then I selected a range. Okay. Then I copied, came to sheet number 2. And after that, I did a selection, paste special, paste Excel, paste all, operation, Excel none, skip blanks, false, transpose, true. Okay, so basically I don't want all this here because I am doing another work here. So the most basic thing and the main thing which I wanted is this particular thing. Okay, this particular code which I wanted. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this particular code from here and I will come and paste it here on my module 1 which I was making. Okay, so I'll paste here. So as you can see, I pasted the coding here. So I'll just minimize this particular module here. And now from here, I want to save the range, or I want to select a particular range. And before choosing that range, I need to select the sheet. Okay, so for sheet, I need to do, I will just type sheets, open the bracket from here. Okay, and what I'll be choosing is I'll be choosing the sheet number 1. Okay, so I'll open my quotation from here and I'll write sheet 1, close the quotation, close the bracket, then dot select. Okay, so now I have selected the sheet number 1 and again I'll go down as you can see. Okay, and now I'll be choosing a particular range in my sheet number 1. Okay, so I'll type range where I want to paste that particularly. So here I'll just open the bracket again and I'll choose the cell number from here. Okay, let me go to sheet number 1. So I'll be selecting B1. Okay, here I'll be selecting B1. Again, let me open my Visual Basic. I'll open the quotation, then I'll type B1 here. Okay, I'll just close the quotation, close my bracket as well, then dot select. Okay, so now as you can see, I have chose the range as well. So let me show you guys now. What I'm going to do is I'll fill this particular box with content. Okay, so I'll just type a name. So here I will just write Andrew, then number 2, gender male, class 6, DOB 12 to 19. So instead of using the whole birth here, let me just write the year. Okay, like the whole date of birth, let me just write the year. So let me write 2005. Okay, and now as I do have this here, okay, let me just come here in the Visual Basic. Okay, and now what I'll do is let me run this macro here. Okay, and first I'll be doing it step by step that you guys will be able to understand it, and I'll be explaining you guys how it actually works here. Okay, so I named it as the selection class. So first here is the sheet number 1. So let me come here, or just you can do F8 from here. Okay, so from here now it's in sheet number 1. I am now selecting the range which is B1. Okay, so now I'm going Excel down. I'll just copy it, and after copying I'll go to sheet number 2 here. Okay, so in sheet number 2 I selected the range A1. Okay, then I'm applying Excel down. Okay, so after doing Excel down, okay, I'll come to the next box, and again I do have the Excel down here. So I went to the last box, as here it will select the last field box. Okay, or the last field cell here. Okay, but here you guys might be thinking I do have 2 Excel down here. Okay, but here I will be explaining you why. But first off, like here I did use 2 because I will be putting too many datas here, okay? Not a single data, I'll be putting too many datas. So that's why I put Excel down. I'll be showing it step by step, then you guys will understand it better, okay? Then I'll go to up again, okay? So the F8, or I'll just click here on step into, and again, here I will go up now. So here, now I'll go to the offset here. And after going to the offset here, I do have the pest special and the transpose which I used. And after that, as you can see, my data is being just pasted here. Okay. And I'll be selecting the range 1, B1 here. Okay. And I will just go here. And now again, I'm in the first page here. Okay. So again, from here, I can just change the value. Okay, then let me write Andy, number 3, male, class 7. And here, instead of writing the whole DOB, what I will do is I'll just write a particular year, 1987. And again, I will just apply this micro here. Okay, so I'll come here again, and from here I will again click on F8. Okay, now here it copied, now it came here. Now as you can see, again it goes down here in my offset, and from here it will just paste. Okay, and again I'll go here. From here again I can fill another data from here. Okay, so I will be selecting another data from here. I will type Mari, number 5, female, class 12. I will write 1999. Okay, now here I will use my macro again. 19 9. Okay, now again I'll go to the Visual Basic. I will run this module again from here. Now you guys will be able to understand why did I use here 2 Excel down. Okay, why I used here 2. Okay, so now again I'll run step by step from here. Okay, so it copied. Now I came here, and again from here, as you can see, I do have my data saved here again. Okay, so now as you can see, I do have my data here, and likewise I can also uh, fill as many data as I want. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll come here in the insert option. So from insert option, I'll go to shapes, and I'll just create a particular box here. And what I'll do is I'll right click here, and I'll just edit the text from here, and I'll write button. I'll just align this somewhere here. I'll bring it in center, change the size accordingly, and now I'll right click. So once I right click, you guys can see I do have the option here, assign micro. Okay, so I'll click on assign micro, and which micro I want to actually put here. Okay, so I'll just choose the micro 1. Here I'll put micro 1 and I'll click on OK. So now what I'll be doing is, here if I write Daniel, then 7, male, class 11, and DOB 1999. Okay, and here now it will run directly and it will save it in my sheet 2. All this information once I click here in this particular button. Okay, I guess there was some problem here. Can't execute the code in break mode. Okay, then I need to off this break mode from here. Okay, then again I'll go to the developer, Visual Basic, and I'll just off the break mode from here. So once I turn off my particular break mode, now if I click on this button first, let me just fill this one. Okay, Sam, number 7, male, class 9, December, or anything we want to put, we can put here. Okay, I'm just showing you guys an example. And if I click on the submit button here, and if I go here, you can see it's saved here. Okay, so likewise I have shown you like using these simple methods in Excel VBA, like how we can write a code and how we can actually save this particular information. So like this, I have ran it totally, like I have also shown you step by step here, like in the Visual Basic. If I go, I ran this macro step by step here. I have shown you guys, and I have also used this active workbook.save. So that means that now once I choose this particular statement or this particular coding, what happens here is I'll just save this particular textbook or the information. It will be automatically saved. I don't have to save it uh, like by myself. So here I have also shown you guys how I can assign the micro from here. So I have also shown you how we can assign the micro. So now if I just select this particular text and all here, create a button, assign the micro, click on the button directly, and I will be able to save the data which I put here. So hope you guys have understood this class, and now you guys have known how we can use this macro in a live situation, or easily how we can save our data in this application. To hope to see you all in my next tutorial in this Excel VBA, where we'll be learning more about this application and we'll start writing code and we'll move deep into learning this coding and everything. And it will be quite easier if you're understanding the basic and if you have understood this class till this much. Okay, so hope to see you all in the next tutorial. Take care, everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another tutorial in Excel VBA. So in this class we are going to learn about the variable and the data type in this Excel VBA. So let's first try to understand what is a variable. So variable basically is a container. So in this container, we can actually uh, contain or store any kind of data or any kind of content which we need to use later on as well. So here we can actually store the content, and after that we can save that and use it later. Instead of typing it again and again, we can just store this data in our workspace and use it accordingly. So let's try to understand from here. So here, as you can see, I do have the Visual Basic box and I do have a module 1 which I just inserted from here using this insert button from here and have clicked a module. So first I'll come here. So now here I will start writing a macro. So we know how to start it using sub. Then I won't define anything here. I'll just name it as data variable bracket in bracket closed, and I'll just click on enter here. So here you can see I did create a macro here. So now what I'm going to do is I'll define a variable here. So let me put a, and here in this case if I put the equals to sign, so using this I can put any kind of number or also any kind of content here. Okay, so let me put 15 here. So here I'll be using the keyword as dim just to embed this variable here. Okay, so I'll write dim and the full form here is dimension, and I can write a, and as I want to embed this here I can write is, and I will write integer. Okay, so here I'm just embedding this one. So I do have this, and I can add another variable here, okay, of the same type here. So I can type b equals to, I can give 30, and here I can again come here dim, and here it is b, so I can write b as integer here. Okay, integer here. Okay, so here you can see I have just, so here as you can see I have defined both of this here. Okay, here using the dim keyword, which is the dimension, and here as you can see both of these are same kind of data types. So instead of writing like this, I can just come here and delete this one, and I can add it somewhere here. Okay, I will come here and I can just type a comma b, and I'll just come here b as integer. Okay, so here in a single statement I have defined both of these variable here. Okay, as you can see down here. So again I'll come here, I want to put a different variable here, so I'll just put c and equals to sign. So what I want to do is I want my c variable to be the addition of a plus b. So I'll click on a and I will choose the plus sign here, or instead of that I'll just put minus, or I can do it like this, b minus a. Okay, so this is a variable which I'll be getting here. So as I have defined this variable here, so now I'll just select the range. Where do I want my component or the result to be? So let me choose here this B3. Okay, let me choose here, go to the Visual Basic again. So I'll write range and open the bracket here, and inside the quotation I'll write B3, close the quotation, close this box again, dot value, and equals to C. Okay, so here I do have it here. As you can see, my A is 15 and my B is 30, and the value of C will be B minus A. So what it should come, basically, it should come 15 here in this box here, as you can see my cursor. So let me just run this one through and let me see what the result comes. Okay, so as you can see here, I do have 15. Okay, so I'll just delete this, and I hope you guys have understood how it actually worked. But let's try to understand how I define this variable out here. Okay, so once I use the keyword dim, it means that this is a variable here, and whenever I do use as, we need to understand that this is a data type. Okay, here whenever I use as, it is a data type, and instead of just putting directly these words and all here, what I can do here is basically I can put a range of cells here. Okay, suppose whatever data or whatever cell do I have here in my Excel sheet, and any content I do have inside that, I can add it up or also minus it, or any kind of command which I want to put, I can put it here. Okay, so in that case, what I'm going to do is I'll come here and I'll write range, and I'll open the bracket, and I'll open the quotation from here, and from that I will type B1, close down the quotation, close down the bracket, and after that I'll type dot value, as this is a value. And here now again I'll come to B, and the same way what I'll type is range, I'll open the bracket, then open the quotation here, and I'll select B2. I'll just close down the quotation, close down the bracket again, dot value, and I'll click on enter. So here you can see I do have a range of products here, and in C what I'll do is now I'll just plus it. Okay, so A plus B will be the value of C, and my value will be shown in B3. So let me just put any variable here. Okay, so let me just put 20 here in the B1 box, and I'll put 25 here. Okay, and once I come here in the Visual Basic box, and if I run it now, my answer should come something like 45. Okay, so let me run here. So as you can see, when I ran this whole thing here, my result came 45 here in the B3 box. So the same way we can actually minus, add, or we can multiply and also divide. So here we can also put a range of products, like if I want to add B1 minus B2, then I can also add the value here, or whatever command I want to put accordingly. So I can do all that as well. Just I'm showing this minus and plus because it's quite easy for us to understand and differentiate between the data type and the variable, and how we can actually work with that. And I just define here the A and the B as integer, as you can see, and I can actually use a lot of variable here. Okay, I can add 3 here. If in number C also I do add any kind of range or any kind of value here, then I can also add from here, like dimension A comma B comma C as integer, and then I can put any kind of variable or any kind of numeric value here, and I can add it. And where I want to add it, okay, suppose I want just beside in C1 box. So what I'll do is I'll come here and I will change C1 here, and I'll open or close the quotation box and close down the bracket as well, and dot value equals to C here. And now I do have this. So now if I run this particular thing, so let me come here and delete this. Okay, so I'll delete this one. So now let's go to the Visual Basic. The B1 and the B2 ranges, whatever I have, it will come here in this box here. So let me run this again. So from here, I will just run. As you can see, I do have the value in the C1 box here on top. Okay. So likewise, we can actually save this particular macro here and run wherever is necessary. Okay. So it actually saves us a lot of time. And I hope you guys have kind of understood what all keywords we need to use. And the main thing about Excel is we need to practice it regularly and we need to get used to this application, because this is about a coding. This is also like learning a new type of language here. So when we try to learn a language, we can't learn it at once. We need a regular practice and get used to the language of it. Okay. So same goes with this Excel VBA, as it includes coding and it's a new kind of language. So I hope you guys have understood till this much here about how we can define a variable. And here, let me tell you guys something more about this variable. Here I have defined the variable. Okay, it's fine. But while defining the name of a particular variable, we should not use any kind of special characters. And what do you mean by special character is like I can't use any kind of @ or hashtag or anything as such. We can use numbers and as well as we can use words, and it will be okay. And we should not use any kind of special characters here, because then it won't run. It will show error while we try to run this particular macro here. And also here, I have told you that we can use numbers here as well. But there is a twist here, okay? So if I try to put numbers first here, okay, like if I start naming the variable with a number, it won't work here, okay? But if I put a variable after this, it will work, okay? Let me show you. From here, if I write 1a comma b, then there is no problem if I try to run this particular thing here, okay? But like there will be a problem. I'm sorry, here as you can see, there will be an expected error here if I put the number first, okay? So I should not put any kind of number first, okay? But instead of this, if I come here and let me just delete, put a comma b as integer, and if I try to run, okay, I should just write it here, or let me show you guys that you guys don't get confused here. Now if I put 1 comma b and then I put as integer, then now there is no problem if I put it in that way. Okay, let me show you. Okay, now we don't have any problem here. Okay, and there is one character which we can use, which is a underscore. Okay, so in that case, while naming any kind of variable, I can use the underscore, a underscore b. I can use this type, okay, as integer. I can use this one, okay, there is no error here. But here in the same case, if I come here and after using the dim keyword, if I start naming the variable with a underscore, and then I write as integer, see there will be a compile error. It's showing that I do have an invalid character because here I did start the name with a underscore, and there you can see in my macro that it also showed where do I have problem in my particular macro or in my particular coding. So I'll come here and again I'll go back here. So I hope you guys have understood that how we should name a variable. So the first thing is we should not use any kind of special character except the underscore, and we should not start it with any kind of numeric number or using any kind of numbers. We should not start a variable name. Well, we can only start it with using letters, and we should not use any spacing in between the variable. Okay, so let me type what it was before, a comma b as integer. So I do have it here. I'll double click from here. Okay, so I do have it here. So this is the keyword dim, and here I do have my variable as the data type. So this is the data type. And in all this programming language and in all this coding, whatever we have till now, to understand the data or the main thing about the data or understanding the application, we need to understand the data type first, and that's what data type is used for. So we'll understand the data type here. So here, as I have selected integer, but we can use different type of data types, like we do have byte, boolean, long, single, double, the string, the decimal. We can use it here, but it also do have limitations here as well. Suppose I have defined these variables here, a and b, but here instead of this range, if I write any kind of character here, like if I write Adam, and in b I am able to write something Adam Smith. Okay, so will my variable c here will be able to add a plus b? The answer is no, obviously no here. Okay, so here, as I have selected the integer, it also do have its own limitations here. Okay, so let me show you guys, like if I type byte, the limitation for this one is 255, like 0 to 255. Okay, so let me take byte here. Okay, and I will just delete this range as well from here, and I will delete this as well. Okay, and from here I will delete this one as well. Okay, the Visual Basic again. So from here, let me add a particular number as I have told. Okay, so let me write 125 or 24, and let me add this b as 225. Okay, and here from here, if I try to run now, as you can see, I do have my answer here. It's 349, but here I did use the byte option here. As you can see, I did use the byte data type. Okay, but what I told you is in byte the limitation is 255, as these are the local variables. Okay, so we do have two type of variables. One is a local variable and another one is the global variable. So I'll be explaining the global variable just right after this. So now, okay, if I type 256, okay, 256, and now if I try to run this one, here you can see it's overflowing. So there is the error 6, and the reason is overflow, because I have told you that here the limitation is 255 in byte, and in case of integer, The limitation is from minus 32,768 to 32,767 if we put integer. Okay, in case of Boolean data type, we can get true or false, and whatever the data types I'm talking about here, okay, we can get it online as well if you want to learn the data type in this Excel VBA. And also we do have string. Okay, so in string the variable length is like 0 to approximately 2 billion characters. Okay, if I write any kind of string here, if in case of byte as string, I can have 2 billion characters. Okay, here I can have 2 billion characters. And if it's a variable length, okay, and if I'm choosing the fixed length, it's from 1 to 65,400 characters. Okay, and in case of decibel, we also do have many type of decimal points here. Okay, I won't be explaining all that because it is quite confusing if we start here like that. But while we use all these type of data types, we need to understand. Okay, so our system needs to understand what type of command do I want to give them. Okay, what type of command do I actually require here? If my system is not able to understand what type of command it's giving, it won't be able to give me the output here. So as I've told you here, if I just write as integer, and from here if I write a equals to Adam, b equals to Smith, so it won't be able to give in C the plus of Adam and Smith. Okay, in that case, so here I can only use integer like any kind of numbering and etc. Okay, so I'll just put integer here. Okay, and from here if I run, you guys can see it's 380, the addition of 124 and 256 here. And now here let's try to understand the difference between a global variable and a local variable, as I've told you. Okay, so here what I will do is I'll come here, okay, and I will create a new macro. Okay, so I will click on enter. Okay, I'll go a bit down here and I'll just type a new macro. So I'll type sub and I will just name it as multiplication. Okay, and I will just close down this bracket, click on enter. As you can see, I have created another macro, and using this line here, now these are two different macro here. As you can see, this line has defined two macros here. Okay, and I'll just increase the spacing from here. Okay, I'll just increase the spacing again. I'll come here. Okay, and now what I'll do is I will type C equals to A multiply by B. Okay, B here, and I will again select the range. Where do I particularly want this? Okay, so I'll come here first and I will delete this particular cell, like the content in that particular cell. Again, I'll come to my Visual Basic, and after that I'll go down, and after that I'll select this particular range. Where do I want it? Okay, I'll choose C1 only. Okay, then I'll copy this one, and from here I will paste, and here I'll just change to C3. Okay, now I have selected C3, so it will be copied in C3 here. Okay, and now I do have the end sub here. Okay, so now see, if I'm trying to run this particular macro here, see here, if I come and if I try to run this one, it won't show me anything as such because it's not able to find where is A into B. Okay, and I didn't define any kind of variable here as well. So here now it's called a local variable. Okay, because it is inside a particular macro here. But the same one, if I want to make it as a global variable, what I'm going to do is I'll select this particular sentence here, and I will just cut this one. I will click on enter, or from here I will come here on top and I'll paste this particular thing here. Okay, so when this particular command came here, you can see it is defined by a line. So now it's a global variable. So this particular command or this particular line in which I do have two variables as integer, okay, and the data type is also there. So now it's a global variable. As you can see, this command is a global variable here. Okay, so now if I try to run, there will be another problem. Let me show you. Okay, so let me run this particular thing here. Okay, so I'll just run here. Okay, so from here, if I come here and if I try to run, I'm not having any kind of thing here. Okay, and if I come here and if I try to run, it will run here. Okay, in this particular one. Okay, but in the second module or the second macro here, I'm not able to run it because here I didn't define this one, the C variable. I didn't define it here. Okay, so from here using a comma, I can actually define the C variable here as well. Okay, so I'll click on C. Okay, I'll again come here, C. I'll put a spacing that it looks good as integer. And now if I try to run this particular macro as well, I'll be able to run it. Okay, so let me show you guys. Okay, I will run this one and I'll come here. If I try to run this one, it will run from here. Okay, so I'll come here, I will run this one, and from here I have selected the range C3 and I will just run. So here I'm having some difficulty to run this particular thing or this particular macro here. So I'll just delete this and now I will try to run. Again, I'll go to the Visual Basic and I'll start from here. Okay, the result will be shown in C1. Okay, so I'll come here and I will run the first macro. Okay, so here it's showing me which one I want to run. So I named the first one as variable, so I'll click on this and I'll run this one. And as you can see, I do have the result here. Okay, so I do have the result of 124 and 256. Okay, and now I'll come to the second macro here. Okay, and now I'll try to run this one from here. Okay, so now if I click on this run, I did save it as multiplication and I'll click on run here. Okay, and here you can see the answer came as 31744. So I hope that you guys have understood the difference between a local variable and also a global variable. So in local variable, it will be under a micro, okay? But if I want it to be a global variable in a particular module, I have to keep that variable or that command on top, okay? On top of all the macros which I create. So this particular command or this particular a set of variable and data types will be applied in all these macros which I create. Okay, so I hope you have understood about the difference. Okay, about the difference between local and the global variable. So in this class we have learned how we can actually work here, and we have actually learned about the variable and the data types. So let me again tell you guys what a variable is. So a variable is just a container of data being stored. And while working on the data, we can change that number or the variable as well. And it can be changed as I have told you. And when a variable is declared, a value is given using a equal to sign. Okay. Once we declare a variable, it can be used, or it can be given a value using a equal to sign. Okay. And we should declare it first. Okay. Before using it, we should declare it first. And to process the data, we should store it first in the memory of the system. So if it's not stored in the memory of the system, it will be able to identify, like it won't be able to identify. And to declare the variable in this VBA, we use the dim keyword. Okay. So here, if I want to declare a variable, I should use the dim keyword. Okay. The syntax is this one. And how we'll write, first we'll write the dim keyword, then we'll type the variable name, and after that we'll use as, then we'll select the data type. As I've told you about different kind of data type, we can use the as integer or as decimal, as string. Okay. And also we can add different type of object, which can also be a character. Okay. So here we can do that. We can also change the variable name. And if you ask me like what type of name I can give and how many character it should be, like maximum, how many character it can go up to. Okay. So it can go up to 255 characters maximum. Okay. And most of the cases, we basically don't need 255 characters just to define a name of a particular macro. We'll get confused. Obviously, we will do get confused. So it should be short and sweet, okay? So that we can memorize and we won't mess up while working in this particular application. So hope you guys have understood now clearly about data types and also the variable. And I hope to see you all in the next tutorial where we will be learning more about Excel. And I also encourage you all that you guys practice this Excel in your whenever you guys get time to work here or try to experiment using this application, because the more we practice, the more we learn. Okay, take care everyone and hope to see you all in the next tutorial. Hello everyone and welcome you all to another tutorial on Excel VBA. So in last class, we have learned about the use of variables and data types. So I hope you guys were clear about the topic. So in this class, what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about the loop. Okay. So what loop basically is? So loop is a very powerful tool in this Excel VBA. So suppose if you want to write a particular series of word or sequence of word. Okay. So in that case, we don't have to just copy paste the same thing again. If I want to put it in 100 pages or like in 100 places, I want to put the same action or the same command, I don't have to go to that 100 particular pages and just copy paste the same thing. So loop is a method, or it's such a command that we use while we work on putting a numbering, or we are trying to give some kind of symbols, or if we are trying to copy the same work. So we can use loop here. So basically loop consists of three main things. So a loop contains, first it contains variable, and it also contains particular condition which is being applied here, and after that it also contains increment, that it will just go around loop. So with the basic word by loop, we can understand that it's just going round and round again. Okay, so it will just copy and paste the same type of programming or the same sequence till the time it's not being meeting a certain point, or it's not reaching a certain point of command. So once the command is finished, the loop will end. So I'll show you with live example how we can use loop in our workspace. So for that, first I'll go to the developer option here. So from the developer option, I'll go to the Visual Basic page. And in the Visual Basic page, I do have a module 1 here. And after that, what I want to do is I also want to take another local window here. Okay, so once I choose a local window, I'll just place it just below the module 1 here. So here I'll be writing the macros. Okay, so I'll be showing how this is actually done. So basically we do have 4 type of loop, but in this class we are going to learn about the first one, which is the for next loop. Okay, and we also have do while loop, do until loop, and for each loop. But here the most basic and mostly used loop is the for next loop. So if I want to write a particular series of words, suppose I want to type 1 to 1,000 words, like I would just basically go 1 2 3 by cell, I would type like that. So I'll just put up a command that it can type for me like that. So I'll be showing you various ways how we can use for next loop in our workspace or in this Visual Basic application or in this VBA. So for that, first what I'll do is I came here in this module and I will type option explicit. So this will be my global variable. So I have told you about the local and the global variable. So I'll write here option explicit, option explicit, and I'll type enter. And from here I will start a macro. Okay, so we know how we can start sum, and I'll name this one as for loop tutorial. Open the bracket, close down the bracket, click on enter, and you can see I do have my first macro here. Okay, so I'll just increase the spacing from here a little bit, then again I'll come here. So for that, what I'll do now, I'll define a variable. So to define a variable, what we can use is we'll write the keyword dim. Okay, and for dim, after that I'll take m as integer. So in the last class I have told you in what case we do use the integer. And after that we'll come down here and we'll write for m. So here, why did I take m here? Okay, let's understand that. As here in the dimension or in the variable, I defined it as m. Okay, so here also I'll be taking m, and from here what I will be doing is to give any value to this particular m, I will select the equals to and I will write 1 to 15. So what we are going to do here is I want to write 1 to 15. Okay, I'll give this command to my system that I want to type 1 to 15 here. So here I define the variable as m as integer. This is the data type, and here I gave the command for m equals to 1 to 15. Okay, so here I'll go down and I'll write next as m. Okay, so after this, as I have given command here, m equals to 1 to 25, 1 to 15. So here 1 to 15 it will type for me. Okay, so I'll come down here and I'll click on enter, and after clicking on enter, as you can see, I do have this box here which I have inserted from here in this option, like from this edit option. Okay, so I have inserted the local window. Okay, as you can see, this is the local window. So here what I'll write is I'll type message box. Okay, so after typing the message box, I will type m. Okay, here you can see I'll be typing m, as here I have defined this as m, so I'll be typing it as m. So now if I want to run this one, let's see how we can run this particular one. So it will give me 15 times, it will go on loop. This particular system will go on loop. So let me run through F8, or I'll just step into from here. So once I click here, as you can see here, and I'm coming down here, and here when I come to next M, here you can see here it is changing the value. So here it will go up to 15. Okay, so let me show you guys step by step. Here as you can see, the value is increasing in that particular box there. As you can see, I have selected till 15, so it's going till there. Okay, so it will go up to 16. So now it is showing me that 16 is done, and I'll click on OK from here. So now I have at least understood, and I have seen that I do have till 16 here. So I'll come here and I'll just delete the message box. And what I'm going to do here is basically, now I'll choose a particular range, like from where I do want this particular numbering to start. So to select the range, I have shown you, I'll type range, and where do I particularly want this? Okay, so I'll just open the bracket from here, and after opening the bracket, what I'm going to do is I'll type, I want it in the A box. Okay, so I'll open the quotation, I'll click on A. Okay, and here I will just close the quotation box here. And now as I have defined it as M here, the variable, what I'm going to do is I'll select the and after that I'll click on M, and I will close the bracket from here. Okay, and after that, as this is a value, okay, I'll click on dot value equals to 1. Okay, so now I do have this one here. Okay, as you can see, I do have the range here, and as I have this next M here, what I'll do is I'll bring it down here just below the range. Okay, so I do have this one, and now what I'll do is I'll try to run this particular macro here. Okay, so I'll try to run this particular macro down here. Okay, so now let me run it using the step into, and let me run this one. Okay, here you can see I do have 1 on my screen, as you can see on the left hand side, and it will go till 15th. Okay, here you can see on my screen that till 15 it will go. Okay, here as you can see, it's writing 1 1 1 1 1, and it will go up to 15 as I do have the command till 15. Okay, now it ended. So here you guys saw how I wrote particularly this thing. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'll just delete this one, and I'll be showing is how I can actually write, like if I want to write 1 2 3 4 till 15, how I can do that. So for that I don't have to change much thing here, but instead of 1 here in the value, what I'll write is M, as the variable here is M, so I'll be writing M. So every time M will add 1 to it. Okay, so here I do have the settings here, as you can see. Now let's try to run this particular thing from here. Okay, I'll come here, and now I'll run. Okay, I'll just run step by step that you guys will be able to understand, or I can just run it directly, then I'll have the 1 to 15 from here. That's not going to be a problem. But to show you guys in this tutorial that you get a better idea about this application and about this particular setting, I'll go step by step. Okay, so here as you can see, here now I do have 1, and now I have 2, okay, 3 4 5, and likewise it will go up to 15, and till 15 I do have it here. So this is the way we can do numbering in our pages or any important documents. and instead of numbers we can also use different variables, different characters. So if you're using different characters, we have to change this data type as well from here. If you are putting any kind of content or any type of different content or any type of object, we have to write as object. As I've told you in the last class, what type of data type we do have. If we search, we can get a particular page on data type. It will give us a quite brief view about what it is and what are the limitation of that particular thing. Okay, now let me just delete this particular thing from here. Okay, so I'll just delete all the cells. So from here again, I'll go to the Visual Basic. So I'll just end this particular macro here. Okay, so let me just finish this one. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll write another macro. Okay, so here what I'll do is I'll write sub and I'll name this one as for loop tutorial 2. Okay, for loop tutorial 2. I'll open and close the bracket and I will click on OK. So as you can see here, I have created another macro. Okay, so now I'll define the variable here. So I will type here dim and I'll name the variable as total, then as integer, come down here again dim, then I will type this one as count as integer. Okay, so here you can see I have defined two variables here. Okay, so here you can see I have defined two variables. And now what I'll do is I'll take the total, I'll just put a value to that total. So here total, and before putting a value we should add equal to sign, and I'll just choose 0 here, and I'll again from here for count, like here I won't only write count, I'll write here for count. Okay, and now here I want to put a value here. So for that I'll put it equal to sign, and after that what I'll be doing is I'll write 1 to 15. Okay, and I'll click on enter as you can see, and after that I'll also try to get the total from here. Okay, total equals to total plus count. Okay, total plus count. Okay, so here I hope you guys have understood here till this much, this coding here, the way I'm creating this macro. Here these two are the variables which I defined, and here I gave the value for total which is 0, and here for count I have put 1 to 15. So what I'm basically going to do here is, let me show you. Suppose I'm writing 1, then 2, then here I'll write 3, okay, then 4, and here what I'll do is 1 is equal to 1 here, and if I plus 1 and 2 here, it should come 3. Okay, and here if I plus 3 is 6. Okay, and 6 plus 4 comes 10. So I hope you guys have understood what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I'll be doing this particular thing and I'll be showing you guys how we can do it in Excel quite easily. So I'll just delete this particular group of cells from here. So I'll click on OK, and I'll go to the Visual Basic page again. So here I have done till this much. So here I'll do have the total, and here I'll do have the count. Okay, so here count I have put 1 to 15, and the value of total will be the addition of total plus count. Okay, so here what I will be doing is, now I will press enter here, and I'll come down here, and now I'll select the range. Okay, while selecting the range, what I'll be doing is here I will type range, and after typing range, you can see I will define it in the first box. Okay, so what I'll do is I will write here the range. So here I will open the quotation, and I want it in my A box here. Okay, here as you can see I do have the box A, so I want it there, but I won't be putting A1 or A2 because I don't want to restrict that. Okay, so I'll type A, I'll just close that quotation box, I'll put and after putting and, as I do have the variable I named here as count, so I'll put count here. Okay, I'll put count, I'll close down the bracket, and after that, as it is a value, I'll dot value, and I will put equals to count. Okay, and again, as I do have two variables here, so I'll take another range. From here, the same way I'll type range, then open the bracket from here, then put on A, close this down. Okay, here I'll be choosing B. I'm sorry, because I already do have A. Here, this is the range, so it should not overlap. So for that, I'll choose B, because I want my results here in the B. Like, it will just add up and it will give me the answers here. Okay, so B, I will just close that quotation. I'll put and, after that I'll put count, and I'll just close down that bracket from here, and I'll put dot value. Okay, dot value, and equals to, now it will be total. Value equals to total. So here I do have my macro here, and now we'll try to run this particular macro from here. So for that, first I need to write the most important part here is I need to go here and type next, as it will show me that particular loop. Okay, it will go loop on loop. If I don't add next, the particular code won't be able to run. So I'll write count here, and now I will be trying to run this particular coding from here. Okay, so I'll go in the step into, and I will type here. So here you can also see in my local window here, I'll be able to show you guys. Okay, here as you can see, here you guys will be able to see. Okay, I'll just bring it somewhere here, okay, that you guys can see properly. So from here, as you can see, if I come down here on count, it is 1 now. Okay, as you can see, I do have the value 1 here. Okay, when I came here, when I just crossed this count here, 1 to 15. So now again I will go step into, and here now you can see the total also have a value of 1. And the same way, if I go to the next count, here you can see it's showing 2, and the same way it's showing 3. Okay, and now if you guys want to see it only here in the local window, what I'm going to do is I'll just cut these ranges from there, that you guys can see only in this particular place. Okay, so from here, what I'll do is I will come here and I will take this and I will just cut this one. Okay, and now I'll just try to run this particular setting from here, and let's try to run it from here. Okay, step by step. As you can see here, like the total is 6, and like 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 will be 10, then 10 plus 5 will be 15, and like that it will go. So hope you have understood here. And again, if you want to see it in my workspace or in the Excel work page, so here again I'll paste it here, and now again I'll start. So here now you will be able to see it in my screen down here. So before that I will just delete this one. Okay, so I'll just delete that, it doesn't overlap here. Okay, so I'll delete from here as well, and again go to the Visual Basic here, and I'll run it step by step. Okay, so I'll run here. As you can see, I'll come here. Okay, then I will run. uh I am, as I have showed you there in the local window. Now I won't be showing it in the local window, so for that I'll click on OK here, go to the Visual Basic. Okay, and now I will come down here. I will just run this particular box here. I will run this one step by step. See here, it's going loop by loop here. Okay, if you guys can see properly, I will just take this box here. I'll just change the size. Okay, I'll bring this one here. See here, now I do have it. Okay, so I'll just delete this whole from here, and now you guys will be able to see what I do here. Okay, so here I will bring my cursor and I will start this. See there, you can see 1. Okay, after that I have 1. Now I do have 2 here, and it's in the loop. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10, and the same way I'll have all the values added here. Okay, as you can see in the total box and the count box, I do have the calculation. So in that way we can actually directly run as well. If I just want to directly run this one, I can run it as well. Okay, so I'll just delete this particular cell, go to the Visual Basic, and now what I'm going to do is I'll just run this particular thing from here. Okay, so here you can see when I ran, it just directly showed me the result from here. So if I want to change the range, so if I want to do it in a C box here, I can do from C as well. Okay, I will delete, and I want my total to be in the C box. So I'll go to the Visual Basic again, and I will run it directly from here. As you can see, I don't have any content in my B column here. Okay, I do have it in the A column, which is the numbering. Okay, the total here, and here I do have the count. Okay, here as you can see in my C column. So I hope you guys have understood, and now I'll be showing you guys another example of how we can actually use this for loop here. Okay, so for that I'll again write another macro. So I'll name this particular macro as for loop tutorial 3. Okay, then I'll just open and close the bracket, click on enter. Here now you can see I do have it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just come down here and I'll come up here again, and now what I'm going to do is I will select and write the same coding here that I can show you guys. And before that, let me just delete these things from here. Okay, I'll just delete. I can also use the delete key from my keyboard as well. Okay, so I'll again come to this page here, and I do have the project bar here as well, that I can see if I do have more modules here, more than one, if I have recorded any macro. And I have also showed you guys how it's quite helpful if we just record a macro and after that modify it according to our need. Okay, So now here what I'm going to do is I'll just write as the same here. So I'll just copy this one. So I will define this variable which will be same. I'll copy this one and I'll paste it here. And after that, the total will also I'll take as 0. I'll copy and I'll paste this particular thing here. So for count also, I will take 1 to 15 and I will just copy this one and I will paste. And after that, this also will be same. The total should be the total and count plus, like I'll just plus the total and count, which will be the value of total there. Okay, I'll paste this function as well. And from here, I would choose any kind of range. I'll be showing the value only here, like only in the local window. I don't want to show you guys here in this particular box. So I won't choose any ranges here. I'll click on enter, then I'll click next, and then I will put next count, and here only in the message box or in the local window. Okay, so I'll type message box and I'll type total. Okay, and I'll click on enter from here. Okay, so I hope you guys are understanding that now I'll be able to see it only here. Okay, so here it looks exactly the same of this first one. I'm just changing here, instead of showing it you in the workspace, I'm going to show it here in the window. So it's not much of it, okay? As I've already showed you, you guys have already seen. So I won't repeat this, okay? But the few thing what I'm going to show you is here. Now, what I want to do is, what command I want to give here is, I want to just put the even numbers here, okay? So in that case, what I'll do is, I'll just change the variable. So for count, what I'll do is I'll select 2 to 10. Okay, so 2 to 10, and I will write here step 2. Okay, so this command I have given here. Okay, so now you guys will be able to see what did I mean here by that. Okay, so here I gave the command that I will have 2 to 10 here, and this is the step 2. Okay, so here now you guys will be able to see in my local window once I run this macro here. Okay, so I'll just run it step by step. Okay, so here you can see I do have the total and the count box here, and here is the particular value. And please just try to focus on this value here. Okay, then you guys will be able to differentiate how it is actually. Okay, so from here I'll go step by step. Okay, so here once I go to this count, okay, here you can see on count I have 2 now. Okay, and now in my total also I do have 2, and now in my count I do have 4. Okay, and after that here in my total I do have 6, and here I also do have 6 on my count as well. Now here I'll do have 12, and after that here 8. Now I'll have 20 here, and after that here I do have 10, 30, and here as you can see I do have my thing here as 30. Okay, and I'll just click on OK here. So here the same thing, if I want to show in the workspace, I can do that as well. I will just click on enter from here. I'll just create a particular spacing. What I'll do is I'll just select this particular range from here. I will copy, and again I'll paste it here, and now I'll run this particular thing here. Okay, like the particular macro here, and I'll just run it again step by step here. As you can see here, you can see I do have 2 for 2, 4 to 6, 6 by 12, and 8 by 20, then 10 by 30 here. So I hope that you guys have understood this class on loop. Basically here I talked about the for loop, and we also do have a different type of loop in about which we are not going to talk here in this tutorial, because if I want to talk about all those about loop, then I need to make a different class only on loop. But here this tutorial is all about VBA. So we are learning the basic of using the Excel VBA. So here I have showed you guys 3 examples of how to use this for loop, which is quite important and the most important loop here in the Excel VBA. So here I have showed you how we can actually create variable and use the loop here normally, and after that I have showed you using the total and the count. Okay, and showing the range. If I want to only see it in the local window, I have also shown you guys how to do that. And hope you guys have understood this tutorial till now, and now you use the usefulness of loop in this application Excel VBA. So hope to see you all in the next tutorial, and take care everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to the tutorial on Excel VBA. So in last class we learned about the loop, what we can use in our Excel VBA workspace, and we mostly saw about the for loop. Okay, and in this class we are going to learn about few commands and storage. So there are basic commands here in the Excel VBA. Like if you know about VBA, then we'll learn here about all this. Okay, and here in this Excel sheet, as you guys can see here, I can use different type of command from here. But what I'll be doing is I'll go to the developer tab from here, and I'll choose the Visual Basic, and from here I'll just take a module. So from here I'll insert a module where I'll be writing all my macros. Okay, I will just close down this local window from here. So we'll be learning about in this class about how we can add or insert a page, or how we can delete a workbook. Okay, so here I'll be adding page, but not by clicking from here, but by using the VBA sheet here by creating a macro. And here in this class we won't be recording a particular macro, but we will be doing it here by just writing it down, because it's quite easier. Let me show you guys here also how we can do it. Okay, by writing a macro. So there are different type of commands, as I have told you. Okay, like there are data storage command, data collection, and how we can also collect data from different sheets. And as I told you, in this class we are going to only learn about the command for how we can insert a page and how we can delete a page. Okay, so let's get started with the class. So as I do have a particular module here, okay, so what I'll be doing is, so now from here I'll start writing my macro here. Okay, so I told you guys how we can write a macro. We'll click on sub, and here I'll be writing sheet insert, open bracket, close the bracket, and I'll just click on enter. Okay, here as you can see, now I do have my macro of inserting a sheet. So now, as I told you that I won't be working here in this Excel sheet here workspace. Like let me just add and show you guys here. If I add it from here, how it will look. So here if I'm on my sheet number 1, and if I only do have one sheet here, and if I just click on Shift plus F11, I'll be able to add a sheet in my right or the left hand side. So I'll just click here and F11. So one sheet is inserted here. Okay, and if I come here on this particular sheet, which is sheet number 2, then if I come here, and here you can see an icon called new sheet. If I click here now, a sheet will appear, like the sheet number 4 will appear here on the right hand side. And if I come again to the sheet number 1, and now if I just choose this icon and click on this new sheet icon, here you can see here I do have the sheet number 5. Okay, so as you can see, I do have too many sheets here, so I'll delete. So hope you guys have understood how we can add this sheet manually from here. But here we will be learning how we can do it in the VBA. Okay, as we came here to learn the coding, we'll do using the coding. And I have also told you, if you guys don't know how to do at first if we want to learn. So in that case, we can just record a macro, see that particular coding there, and from there we can actually just copy, and if you want to modify anything, we can modify. So it will be quite easy for us to learn these settings or all these commands. So I'll just delete this sheet number 5 from here. So I'll delete this one, and I'll also delete this one as well. And I'll delete this sheet number 3 as well. Okay, so I'll delete this one. So here, after deleting this one, I'll be adding sheet but using the coding. Okay, but here if I was doing it manually, or if I want to record the macro, first if I choose the sheet number 1, here what they'll do is it will just read the command first. Here once I click on the sheet number 1, it will select sheet number 1, and after when I click this new sheet, it will also read this particular command and it will give me the coding. And I'll come to the Visual Basic again. So for that, what I'll do is I'll type a particular worksheet. Okay, so for that I'll just type worksheet. Okay, I'll write worksheets, and I'll just open the bracket from here, open the quotation, and now which one I want to select here. Okay, do I want to select sheet number 1 or do I want to select sheet number 2? So I'll be writing the particular name of that sheet, or I can just put numbers, but it will be better if you guys use names while we are working with so many sheets in a single workspace or a single project. Okay, because see, if I do have 3 sheets here, suppose I do have 3 sheets here, and now if I add here this is the sheet number 6 here, as you can see here. But now if I type in this Visual Basic 1, 2 and 3, so the sheet number 1 will remain 1, but the sheet number 6 will be the sheet number 2 here. Okay, if I just put 2, it will select this particular sheet here. And for the sheet number 2, if I put, so now it will be saved as sheet number 3 here. See here, it's coming error. As you can see in my macro page or in my module, here you can see it's coming an error because this one I didn't put anything here, so it's coming like that. But here once I put any range, it's just coming back to normal. So I just have to finish this one. Okay, so let me just delete here. Okay, and I'll also delete this particular sheet from here. I'll just permanently delete this page as well. So here let's go to the Visual Basic again. So from here I will be selecting the sheet number 1, come to the Visual Basic again, and for selecting that particular worksheet, what I'll do is I'll type sheet 1 here. Okay, sheets 1, and after that I will just embed it inside the quotation, close down the bracket, and I'll click on dot select. And yeah, here it won't be sheets 1, it will be sheet 1, because if I put sheets 1 here, as you can see, if I just put sheets 1, it won't be able to recognize which sheet I am talking about here, because only a change in a particular word can actually mess up this whole programming or coding. As it is a language, it will just show error. Okay, so here I'll put sheet 1. So I hope you guys have understood till this much. So let me just put this numerical value here. As you can see, if I just put 1, it will just select that particular sheet number 1, and if I select 2 here, it will select the sheet number 2. So likewise, we can actually write down our pages from here. So now what I'll do is, from here, I don't want this. Okay, I don't want to select this worksheet number 1, and now I won't use it in my coding. Okay, so for that I will just put it inside my comment. Okay, so for that what I'll do is I'll just give a single quotation here. Okay, and I'll just click enter from here. So as you can see, once I click enter, this particular sentence now it's just a comment. So it won't be counted inside my coding. So now I'll start adding a particular page. So for that, what I'll do is I'll type sheets dot, and as you can see, after clicking on dot, I do have many options here, like what I want to do. If I want to add a sheet, if I want to add two, if I want to copy, if I want to count or delete anything, I can give the command from here. But from here, what I'll do is I'll add. Okay, so I'll click on add here, and as you can see, that command is added there. Okay, and now here, if I just give a space from here, as you can see, here a menu bar appeared here. Okay, so here you can see before, after, count and type. So here, what do you understand by before? Okay, so here my active sheet is sheet number 1. So if I just click on before, or if I just type before here, it will be selected and a new page or a new sheet will be created just after sheet 1, like on the right hand side. Okay, but if I just click here, okay, like if I just put up a comma here, you can see here now the after is selected from here once I use the comma. Okay, so and by default, if we just stay here and if we just click on enter, or if I just give space from here, the before will be selected by default. Okay, now if I just type there like the range, like in sheet number 3 or sheet number 1, like that, if I just define, okay, so it will be selected like that. So let me show you guys from here. Now if I just put here, if I just give a space here, so here you can see it is already selected. Okay, or now I will just give a command from here. Okay, so I'll just write sheets, and I'll just open the bracket, and I'll open the quotation, and I'll write sheet 2. Okay, I'll just close down the quotation, close down the bracket as well, and now we'll try to run this particular thing. Okay, now we'll try to run this one. So I'll come here, and using F8, or from here I can use the step into option. The shortcut key is F8 only. So now as you can see, just keep an eye on my page here in this workspace here once I run this page. Okay, so I'll come here, and from here, now you can see on my right hand side, by default it's being added. And the same way, if I come here and if I just click on comma, and now here you can see I have selected the sheet number 2 again, but now it will be created on the left hand side, or like after sheet number 1. So now again I'll come here and just run this one. Okay, so here you guys can see I have selected that one. Like after that, it is being selected. The sheet number 8 is being selected after. Okay, so I hope you have understood the different way of adding pages here, and from here I can change the sheet name. Otherwise, if I just want to write the full thing, like if I want to write before, I can also write that, or in case if I want to write after, I can do that as well. Okay, so let me come and run it here again. Okay, so there is a problem here. So let me see what is the problem here. So here actually there is a little problem which I can see here. Okay, while adding, so I'll just go back here, I'll just click on add, I'll just put on the space, and I'll just click on comma because I'll be adding few pages after. And now here I do have this command. Okay, here I will come, I'll delete this, I'll type sheets Then I'll open the bracket from here, and from here I'll open the quotation mark, and I'll be selecting sheet number 2. Sheet 2, and I'll just close down the bracket again from here. Now if we try to run this one, you guys will be able to see a few sheet will be added after. Okay, so let me come here, let me run this step by step. Here you can see I just did add a sheet here. Okay, after that. And now we have already understood how we can add before or after here. Now we'll learn like if we use another comma. Okay, so this is the second comma in this. Okay, so now I'll be choosing type. So what I'll be doing is if this means that how many pages do I want. Okay, like here how many pages do I want to add. Okay, as I have selected here after, and now it will show me how many pages I want to add after. So I can give 3 or I can give 5, as many sheets as I want. I can just put it here. Okay, so let me take 3 sheets from here, and let me run this particular macro from here. Okay, I'll just do it step by step. I'll show it from here, and now you guys can see here it added many pages here. As you can see, if I go here, you can see it have added 3 pages here, the sheet number 12, 11 and 10 after. Okay, like after the sheet number 3, as I have selected the range here, or the sheet number 2. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood till this much. Okay, now what I'm going to show is we need to be very careful. Let's carefully learn this one, because this is quite important and we will use mostly while writing this coding. So now here, okay, suppose I do have 2 sheets here. Okay, I deleted all those other sheets here. So suppose I do have a few sheets here, so let me add another sheet here. Okay, and my last sheet is this sheet number 14, but here we can put the sheet number 1 also in this last, and we can also interchange. Okay, so here if I come to the Visual Basic, here as you can see I have I have already defined the sheet number 2. Okay, so now I don't have the sheet number 2 here, as I have deleted that one. So if I put sheet number 1, and now if I already run that macro here, if I'm already running that macro, and after that if I want to add any kind of sheet from here, so again I have to come here again and again select the last sheet and again create the number. So are you guys understanding here what I'm trying to say? Is like if here what I'm trying to do is I want the numbering to be perfect. Okay, so here I'll be showing you guys with an example that you guys will understand better. So I'll come here and first delete this. Okay, and I'll just keep that box, and what code or the keyword I'll use is sheets dot count. Okay, and I'll just close this, and after this, like as here now I do have 3 sheets here, and sheet number 14 is the last sheet, but it will count. Okay, here I do have 3 sheets, and after this 14 it will name as 15, 16 and 17. Okay, like 15, 16 and 17. Now I'll have 3 sheets here, so with comma I'll put 3 here again, and let me try to run it from here. Okay, with this step into option, I'll come here and I will run. Okay, so I'll just end this one, and okay, I should have used comma here, and I will write 3. Okay, I want 3 pages to be added. So here it counted the sheet, as I do have 3 sheets here. So here, now let me run this one with this step into option. So now again there was an error, and because here I put just sheet, okay, not sheets, so I have to put here sheets. And now if I try to run this one, this whole macro from here, let's try again, because it's quite complicated, like this Excel VBA, as it's all about coding, one word here and there, your code won't work. So here if I just click on the step into, okay, here and here, as you can see, after 14 it added 3 more from here, okay. Now I do have the 15, 16 and 17 here, okay. Now again we can do is like, again we can add from here, okay, like you guys saw here, okay. Now the last sheet is sheet number 15, okay. So here now if I open the Visual Basic, how many sheets do I have here, okay. Here as you can see, here if I keep my cursor here, as you can see here, it's showing sheet count as 6, and here also I do have uh, 6 sheets here, okay. So now again if I run this one from here, here again it will add 3 more sheets, okay. So here I'll come and again I'll run it step by step, okay. Here if I run, here again it added 3 more sheets for me, okay. So it gave me after 17, 18, 19 and 20 number sheet, okay. So likewise we can add more sheets from here and in a particular manner, like the way I showed you. And here if I keep my cursor, here you can see the number of sheets are 9. And here if I count, here sheet number 1, 13, 14, 17, 16, here also I do have 9. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here also I do have 9 sheets. So I hope that you guys have understood from this class, like how we can add sheets in different position, how we can add it before or after, or how we can add numbering, or how we can actually count our sheets from here, okay. So here after this we'll be learning about how to delete from this using a macro. So I'll just come here, okay, and I'll define another macro. So for that I'll write sub, I'll give a spacing and I'll put a name. So I'll write it as delete, close and open and close the bracket, click on enter, okay. I'll just click on OK, and now you guys can see I do have another macro here, okay. So for delete, what I'll be doing is, so the same way, first here I'll be writing sheets and I'll just open the bracket, and which particular sheet do I want to delete here, as I do have 9 sheets here. So then which one I want to delete, I can particularly name those, or I can just put 1, 2, 3, so it will be basically it will show like this, like this is the sheet number 1 if I just put only a numerical value. But it's good that if I specify, so I'll just specify the particular name, and I can have a different name here as well for this particular sheet, okay. So I can also rename from here, so I'll write ABC and I will click on enter, and now I will open this Visual Basic and I'll write ABC and I'll close the quotation, okay, close down the box as well. So this one is the most basic way how we can actually delete a particular sheet, okay. So as you can see, I named this one at ABC, and now here I do have the ABC. So if I run this particular macro here, the ABC sheet will be deleted. So here in this class I'll also be teaching you guys about here, if I just select sheet number 20, which will be the active sheet, and from right side if I want to delete anything, or the left side sheet, or how many on the left hand side or how many on the right hand side. So we'll learn about all this and many more, okay, here in this class. So I'll go to the Visual Basic again. So now here I will type dot select, I'll come down here, and to delete this particular sheet now, okay, what I'll do is I'll type active sheet dot delete. Okay, so here I do have my macro here now. So I'll try to run this macro from here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come here in this bar and I'll do it step by step, and I'll come here. So as you can see here, now it's asking me the Microsoft Excel will permanently delete this sheet. So do I want to continue or not? Okay, so if I am deleting from here as well, it will show the same. So here also you can see this screen just popped up here to reconfirm. So I'll click on delete. So as you can see from here, I have deleted that particular page from there. So now here you have understood how we can actually delete a particular sheet here. But now suppose I do have many sheets. Okay, I don't have a particular sheet. So first what I'll do is I'll come here, I'll just go back, and suppose I want to delete so many sheets at the same time. So if I do the way I showed you, then I have to put different kind of value. And as I was just deleting that, I did also have a popped up page, like it was a warning page which showed me that do I want to delete it or not. So from this VBA I can also off that, and if I want to keep it I can also keep it. So I'll also show you guys how I can delete so many pages at the same time. So for that what I'll do is I'll come here, I'll write sheets, and I'll put the quotation here. I'll put the quotation and which sheet number do I want to delete. So here I'll just type sheet 19, close the bracket down, dot delete, and I'll come down here. Okay, I'll select this particular text and I'll just copy this one here as well. I'll just paste it, and instead of 19 I'll again choose this page number 20. Okay, so now this one and this one will be deleted, and I'm hoping that it doesn't show me that warning page. So for that we need to do a small thing, which is we need to come here and I need to write a keyword or a command. So I'll show you guys the coding for that. It is application dot display alerts. So this one, display alerts, and I'll just put a value to it. So I will put equal to, and I will put false. Okay, and again the same thing, what I'll do is I'll copy. So I'll copy this one and I'll come here down and I'll paste this, but instead of false what I'll be typing is true. Okay, so now this both page will be deleted and it also won't show me the warning page here. So what I'll do is I'll come here, and after coming here I will run this particular macro. Okay, so for that I will just go into the step into option. I'll click on step into. Here you can see, and my page number, sheet number 19 is being deleted, and it didn't show me any kind of warning page. And the same way, if I come here, and here you can see it also deleted the page number 20 for me. Okay, so I'll just cancel this one. Okay, so from here what I need to remove is I need to remove this active sheet dot delete. So if I keep this one, see here the sheet number 15 is my active sheet. This will also be deleted, but it will show me a warning page here. Okay, so I'll just delete this one. So only this much is my macro here. Okay, here now if I want to run this same macro here, okay, it won't be able to run because already I have deleted sheet number 19 and sheet number 20. So now it won't be able to identify that pages or that sheet. So I can change the value from here. Suppose I want to delete 15 and here I will delete number 16, and the same way I'll come here. Okay, I will copy this one, come down, and if I write sheet number 17, from here you can see I will be able to delete all these three and it won't show me anything. Okay, so I'll again come here on top and I'll run this directly. Okay, using the F5, so it will just delete it in a second, that we won't be able to understand. Likewise, I have showed you guys that how we can create a button and put a particular command here. Okay, so from here I will just run from here directly. Okay, so here once I ran this one, you can see now I don't have that page number or the sheet number 15, 16 and 17. It just deleted in an instance. And now here I will also teach you guys about if I just want to keep this first sheet. Okay, if I want to keep only this sheet and I want to delete all the other sheets which I have here, like the sheet number 13 and 14, how we can actually delete, or if I have more, no problem with that as well. Okay, so I have selected few more sheets here. So what I'll do is I'll come here and I will delete till this much, and I'll just cut. And here what I'll do is first I will define a variable. So we have learned how we can define. We should use the dim keyword. We'll give a space and I'll name it as S. Okay, or I'll name it as V, and I will give a space and I'll write as, and after that I'll write long. Okay, so here you can see long. So I'll select this, I'll click on enter as I want to go down, and now what I'll type is for V. So I'll type my variable name. Okay, V equals to, okay, so I'll put up a value here. So for that, as I wrote equal to, how many sheets do I have? Okay, I do have the sheet number 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so here I do have the sheets. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll type 2, 2, 5. Okay, and after that I will come down, I'll click on enter, and I will click here sheets, and I will just open the bracket, and here what I will be writing is the value of this one. Okay, the variable value. So my variable is V, so I'll just close down the bracket from here. Okay, and I'll click or write dot select from here, and I'll go down again from here, and now what I'll do is I'll type active sheet dot delete. So now here I do have a loop here. Okay, so it will delete step by step. Here you guys will be able to see, as I have also defined a loop here. So now let me run this particular macro. Okay, so from here I will come and I'll just run it from here. Okay. And I just forgot one step from here. Okay, so here what I also need to write is I need to write next. Okay, so here I will be using that loop. So I will click on enter and I'll type next, and I'll put the variable name. So my variable name is V, so I'll put V here. Okay, so now if I try to run this one, here you can see, just keep an eye on this particular page and how it will get deleted. Okay, so now here, as you can see, here it deleted one page, and again in the loop it will delete another one for me, and here I'll come again here. Okay, and I will be able to delete from here again, and I will just end this one as I don't have 5 pages here. And for that I can add more pages, as many as I want from here. Okay, I can also add so many pages from here, and now I'll be showing you guys that as well, how we can do that. Okay, so hope you guys have understood till this much how we can actually delete and how we can put different type of commands to delete, how we can actually use the loop to delete any sheet from here. Okay, so as I do have here, and I also have showed you how we can delete, but there I showed you also a problem, as here I have actually put a numeric value here. So particularly what it will do is, now if I don't have sheet 2 to 5, if I suppose I do have only 3 sheets here, so it won't be able to work because I don't have more sheets here. Okay, so in that case what we're going to do is, I'll just come here. Okay, so here I do have v equals to 2 to 5, so I'll just delete this one. I'll just cut this one, and I'll be writing from here like for. So here what I'll do is, after writing this for, I will just write the name of the variable, which is v, and I will click on equal to, and here instead of giving any kind of name or the sheet name particularly, what I'll do is I'll write sheet dot count, and I'll write 2, and I'll also select the numeric value 2. Okay, here I should not select more than that, so I'll select 2, and I'll again write here step minus 1. Okay, and I will click on enter, and see, now I do have this particular thing here. Okay, so now if I come here at the starting, and now if I run this step by step, you can see it is deleting step by step here all my pages here. Okay, but it is not deleting my active sheet. Okay, here, but if I only put only this one, it will delete my active sheet as well. Okay, so let me add more pages here, or more sheets here. Okay, as I have added a few more sheets here, and now I'll come to this Visual Basic box here again, and now if I directly run using the F5, or from here if I directly run, here you can see when I clicked on that, here I only do have 1 pages. Okay, only 1 page I do have, or the primary sheet I do have it here. So I hope you guys have understood about this class as well, where I have first explained you how you can insert sheet or add, and here in this class I have also taught you guys how we can delete sheets in a different type, multiple sheet at the same time, and how we can actually delete in a numerical order as well. Okay, so this was the end of this whole tutorial on Excel VBA. So as it was the basic tutorial, so I hope you guys have understood from the beginning of the class, and I like to thank each and every one of you, those who stayed from the first class till the last. And later, if in the future, we'll also be learning more about the advanced option in Excel VBA. So thank you everyone for joining the class, and hope you also are blessed and got to learn something about this Excel VBA and about this coding language. And I hope you guys will keep on practicing this one, as it's coding, we are trying to learn a new language, so here we need to keep. So take care everyone, and goodbye.